WIBC HD2, W298BB, W228CX Indianapolis. Butler wraps up the regular season at Providence. Saturday morning at 11:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
All right, look at the Pacers for a moment. What about their future? Where do they finish? Third, fourth, fifth? You got to take care of still the winnable games because March, schedule-wise, is going to be incredibly tough. Win those winnable, and it really starts in the month of March now.
The Ride with JMV. Weekdays from 3 till 6 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good. Adam Vinatieri, at age 45, drills one from 57 yards out.
Was kept alive by Oladipo, and Sabonis with a left hand.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, we're going to see if we can get anything done after 48 hours of sleep here. How you doing? Got to thank Tony, Kevin Bowen, from sitting in here yesterday. Kurt Gerald's on his birthday, was riding shotgun with everybody in here. I do appreciate that. At 48 hours, I got up to take my kids to school both mornings, and then went back home and passed out, only to get up this morning, do it again, and I'm in here today. So I don't know what's happened. You know, normally, as I've said, but in the past, this happens during the Combine week, and it's always pretty good. I've always enjoyed it when it's happened during the Combine week. But now we're kind of getting into, the conference tournaments. We're kind of getting into, close to the NCAA tournament. So, we don't like it right now. And it's going through this building like crazy. It is going out and about like crazy. So if you've been like me for the past half week or so, a little bit under the weather, I hope you are feeling better right now. But, Tony, great job from you. Thank you. And Kevin Bowen for doing a tremendous amount of work. And there's no coincidence that I'm coming back on hashtag National Cereal Day. No coincidence whatsoever.
What's your go-to?
I always have to have a chocolate-based. I have to have a cereal that leaves the milk chocolatey. All right, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the milk has to be chocolatey every time. Correct. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. So the Pacers, I guess this is the official mark where they embark on a 12-game. Now, obviously, we're already in the month of March. But they have 12 games beginning later on tonight. We're going to have to watch that on TNT because the Fox Sports Indiana guys are not a part of it. This is a TNT broadcast, which should worry everybody else because we'll have to run the stats. I don't know if anybody's in here to run the stats today. But the Pacers recently on national television. Let's talk about that for a moment. This year, they've been on national TV. And I've watched them on Fox Sports Indiana even while they've been on national TV. But so let's face it, it doesn't seem like that they've fared well to me. But they have 12 games beginning later on tonight for the rest of the month of March. How many do they have to win? How many will they win? And we'll go over it. It is a who's who of a high level, high quality, high caliber NBA playoff elite level squads. It really is. I mean, you go out west, and even when you stay east, other than the Knicks. But my Connecticut water question of the day is this. If I set an over-under at, what if I set that thing at 4? If I set it at 4 wins the rest of the month, which we're going to be disappointed about. I don't think there's any doubt about it, right? If it's around there. But let's face it, this is going to be tough. Set that at 4 wins. Would you take the over or would you take the under? At 4. Right now. beginning in Milwaukee later on tonight, and then another nationally televised game that is on the road at Philadelphia Sunday afternoon. Would you take the over or would you take the under if it's set at 4? What do you think? Over, under? You got to look long and hard at it right there.
Off the surface, the under.
That looks tough, doesn't it? I mean, you are, just off the top of your head, you are searching. Are you not searching for wins right there? You are digging for wins.
Man, because
that's hard.
They're not winning at Denver.
See, it was a surprise. We're out of the gate really early here, and like 77% say the over. I mean, when you look at it, there's a game with the Clippers on the road. You're going to have to win that, right? I mean, that looks like a game on paper that you really need to win. They just never fare well, do they, in Portland?
No.
Denver, I think Denver both here and in Denver, sketchy at best. So I guess I'm surprised, and I hope that you're right. I'm hoping that you're right, but I am incredibly concerned about, and again, you look at what's transpired in the past couple of games with the Boston Celtics, for example. I mean, they were just absolutely in the toilet, right? Absolutely in the toilet. They lost a point, got blown out at home by Portland, and then they go out west. And, I mean, you look at the last two games. Golden State, they win by 30+. Last night, Gordon Hayward makes a shot, a little runner on the baseline, kind of fade, that gave them that win. So they put really two wins together where we thought maybe logically they were going to lose those two games. That's the way that it looks.
They're going to be favorited in two games the rest of the month, and one of those games is to that Magic team at home that just beat them last Saturday.
And it's beaten them, consecutive times now. Mm-hmm. If you go back to that game not too long ago in Orlando, right after the Oladipo injury, and they started on that. So I don't know. That'd be tough. It'd be tough not to roll with the under on this right now. It'd be really tough. But we can hit that, 239-1070, email address, JMV at 1070thefan.com. And there's no give up. And I like watching this team play. Tonight's going to be incredibly tough because you're going in there not only without your guy, but you're also without Sabonis, which has been an issue, let's just say, on the glass. I don't think there's any mistake to be made about that. I don't know. Sabonis comes back on Sunday. I think that is kind of the hope. I thought that maybe the hope was he would be back and ready tonight, but clearly he is not going to be. Is he going to be ready for Sunday? We'll find out against Philadelphia. That's more, I think, of the expectation certainly now. But this is as tough a stretch as they have seen in a while. I'm going to tell you, Jennifer, if they go 8-4, that is incredibly optimistic. 8-4. I mean, you're going to have to be getting some parades, I think, scheduled for an 8-4 right there. It just looks like an incredibly tough month considering this Pacer team makeup right now. We'll see if it's any different than what we think. We'll see what you think about it, certainly. And that's a nationally televised game coming up later on tonight. It's on TNT on the road in Milwaukee. The first of two consecutive coming up here on the road against really good Eastern Conference teams. Now, they get a little helper last night from the Chicago Bulls. They did. They beat the Bulls the other night. Bulls come back and beat Philadelphia last night. There was a little bit of controversy at the end, but the Bulls come back and knock off Philadelphia last night. Think about the Bulls is, regardless of what people want to describe their resurgence, they've always been tough on the Pacers. They've been tough on the Pacers with or without Victor Oladipo. They have just been tough on the Pacers, and normally those games are incredibly wild. That's why when you pull away late down the stretch, as they did the other night at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, you got to embrace that because normally those things are crazy with the Bulls. And that was a game that they absolutely had to have. I mean, games like Orlando on Saturday, maybe even Detroit, almost now a couple of Mondays ago. There are some games in there that you're going to wish that you had back, especially now you get into the teeth of the month of March. But you look at it, you got 12 games. 12 games, couple of times against OKC, couple of times against Denver. You got Portland mixed in. You got Boston. You got Philly. You got Milwaukee. This is going to be a March. Literally a March. Not just a month of March, but a March. So the over-under right there, if I gave you 4, that's the number. Would you take the over? Would you take the under? All right, 239-1070 for that. Colts free agency. We talked a little bit about this before I went out and missed yesterday when I was in here on Tuesday about the Colts maybe having a little involvement as far as Landon Collins is concerned. It's funny. Stephen Holden was with us on the show on Tuesday, and he said, hey, I expect him to be active, but not high-level active, and I would tend to agree. And all that you hear out there right now is kind of just the most common chatter. It is, well, Landon Collins makes sense. It is, well, Tyrell Williams makes sense. But at the same time, knowing Chris Ballard as we do, how much sense is it going to make if these guys on the open market have their price tag raised by virtue of a high level of interest? Right? I mean, there seems to be a great deal of interest out there. So where's the price tag going to go on both of these guys? I mean, it's kind of funny. You can equate this to NBA terms for a moment. Like whenever Bojan Bogdanovic gets brought up, you know, of the 5 guys that have one-year deals presently with this Pacer team, he was certainly at the top of the list of guys that I would assume most Pacer fans would like to see come back, wants to see return and be a part of this team for a longer term because he's fit in, because he deserves it. And that's easy to say sitting here, but, you know, all of a sudden you might have these other teams that kind of swoop in and poach, and here's what they're going to pay. And you kind of got the same thing working here with the NFL, certainly in free agency in mind. So who's going to raise the bar price tag-wise on guys like Williams and guys like Collins? Chris Ballard going to be willing to go higher? Because it always seems like he has one big, fat, square number in mind, and he's really not going to budge. I mean, we saw that a year ago with Rashad Melvin. A lot of you have asked me about Pierre Desir. Pierre Desir in that secondary came along nicely a year ago. I mean, you're going to face a much tougher group of quarterbacks, and really teams in general, quarterbacks, offenses, coming up in 2019 on that schedule. You need to have guys that can play at a higher level in that secondary, you know, as a quarterback. Pierre Desir, is he a guy that is worthy? You like him, but you're going to like him to an extent. Like a year ago, you liked Rashawn Melvin, but you liked him to a certain extent. And then you just kind of let him go. They have a lot of money to spend. But Chris Ballard's not a high-dollar guy when it comes to free agency. We know that. And he's also a guy that does not like to part with draft selections. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, the thought of Dee Ford, for example, which is something that we discussed both before he got franchise tagged and then again after. And I was having a conversation with Rick Venturi yesterday in one of my awake hours. And he said the thing about Dee Ford is this, and it's something I brought up on Tuesday's show. Dee Ford over 6 years, check that, Dee Ford over 5 years, averaged 6 sacks per season. He had a bust-out season a year ago with 13. And certainly defensively, they go from Bob Sutton to Steve Spagnuolo now as defensive coordinator in Kansas City. So they're going 3-4 to 4-3, which everybody thought was going to make him expendable. But is it even more than that? You know, some people brought up the fact that, well, he was the guy that lined up off sides and basically cost them a trip to the Super Bowl, you know, back in January in the AFC title game. Seems like it might be a little bit more than that. And Rick brought that up, you know, maybe the overall value. He brought up the fact that Landon Collins as a tackler is really good. Landon Collins, as far as being a guy that's able to cover very much, isn't. Now, I would say this. If you have Landon Collins and you have Malik Hooker that is healthy, Malik Hooker may be able to play a little bit more center field, which I think is what everybody was really excited about. The thing about Malik Hooker has been just not being able to stay consistently over 2 years on the field, more so than anything else. Some people, I think, have been disappointed in his play when he's been healthy. But would that be a good compliment on the other side? And would that allow Hooker to be more of a playmaker? Something else we'll discuss coming up here at 239-1070. Email address, jmv1070thefan.com. We are on Twitter at jmv1070 with the Connecticut Water question of the day, some other NFL news, and you get everything right now. I'm always kind of curious, and we've never really kept a running tag on this, but I'm always kind of curious about how many of these rumors float around out there and the percentage level of which these rumors turn out to be accurate. Like, the hottest one out there right now is that the Bears are shopping former IU running back Jordan Howard. And we're getting, comments from everybody. Like Olin Kreutz, who played center with Chicago for so many years, I think now does NFL and Bears analyst work up in the Windy City. Was talking about, wouldn't mind to see what Jordan Howard looks like in a contract year, whatever. I mean, always interested to me when these rumors pop out, how many of them end up being true? I'll give you another great example. 2 weeks ago, there was a rumor about John Ross with the Bengals. Wide receiver 2 years ago, really set the combine on fire with a 40 time. Since then, has been a bust. Since then, has been mostly non-existent. Has that been more about the offense in Cincinnati, more about the quarterback in Cincinnati, more about the coaching in Cincinnati, or more about just Ross not living up to the expectations? Well, the Bengals were, according to many, shopping him. And then you read something yesterday where the Bengals now really want to give him a fair shake, a big-time opportunity. So how many of these rumors actually turn out to be accurate is what is interesting right here to me. So that's something else we could talk about at 239-1070. Mike Chappell's going to join us of CBS 4 and Fox 59. We're going to go up and down this Colts team right now, too. His thoughts on bringing back Margus Hunt, which happened back on Tuesday. A couple of things that I missed yesterday, and I'm not going to revisit it at great length because we're 48 hours clear now of it, but that Pacer win over the Bulls. The Miles Turner, I'm assuming, and I apologize, Tony, I was asleep. I'm assuming you guys talked about Mouthy Miles a little bit with JJ after the game about saying, hey, I blocked these shots and nobody went to get it.
Yeah.
And I was pissed and I cussed him out.
We played them back. We played those comments back.
How do you guys view that? Can that be viewed in a bad way, or is it all good? Is it taking over the reins or helping out with the leadership, or is it, well, hey, wait a minute. These guys pick your butt up all the time. What are you doing?
Well, that was my exact point yesterday was, without Victor in there, who's going to be that veteran that can step up? But I think this is a good step in the right direction for Miles.
Thad does that, though.
I'm not sure Thad's the guy that is going to step up and cuss anybody out, but I think that Miles doing that, who's the future of one of the future stars of the franchise and is signed to a long-term deal now, I like it. I like what I saw out of Miles and holding everybody accountable. And this is a locker room, as I told Kevin Bowen yesterday, that isn't going to get pissed off at Miles because he did that. No, it's going to motivate them to do better and to push each other moving forward, which is exactly what they need, especially with this brutal stretch the rest of the way.
Now, I'm a Miles guy. I think everybody out there is well aware of that. But the next two games are games after you say something like that you better be around. You better be around and you better be productive. Because historically there have been moments with Miles against the better teams that you're going to see later on tonight and you're going to see coming up on Sunday in Philadelphia. We certainly know the last time that Miles got hooked up, and Embiid didn't play last night. I don't know. What's the word on Embiid on Sunday? Do we have one yet?
They play tomorrow night. I think
so. He'll probably
back.
Play on Sunday? That's too bad. But last time, it's weird. Last time in Philly, that was brutal. That's when Embiid went off for 40+, but the Pacers still won. And then there was a time when Miles took it to Embiid, scored 25. That was the end of the regular season a year ago. See, I'm like you. I don't mind it either, and I like seeing this dude grow, but, I mean, there's going to have to be, even I can recollect this. There are times where you look in the past and he hasn't against the higher level talent. That's what you're going to be seeing right now, and he's going to have to raise the bar on his game all the way around. I mean, he was good against the Bulls. Make no mistake about it. He has a double-double, 7 blocks, I think 4 of which turned into putbacks for the Bulls, in which we talk about. But that is just, again, that is the wiggle room that you are no longer allowed without Vic, and then it becomes especially squeezed when you don't have that bench presence, both points, rebounds, and defensively of Domas Sabonis. Just the overall toughness that he provides. That is a ton to take away, even if everybody is incredibly happy about what you've seen lately of TJ Leaf. And I would agree. I mean, he has shown signs of which we have not seen, but that is just a part of it. I mean, everybody's got to come to this party. Everybody has to come to the party. And we got to see this team beat some of the high-caliber, high-quality teams in the NBA that, let's just face it, this season they have struggled to beat. You know, last time out against Milwaukee prior to the All-Star break, you have a 10-point lead going into the fourth. You blow that. Nate kind of waits too long to put starters back. Yeah, we know the whole drill there, right? Down the stretch, I think it was nothing but basically Bojan scoring, and nobody else did much of anything offensively. That was the last time out. And that was one of those games you wish you had back, especially looking down the barrel of what is later on tonight in Milwaukee. That game and that team is so interesting because, man, if they are knocking down the threes, that to me is a worst-case scenario to the Pacers. The drive and dish against the Pacers is so workable. It is so workable. Now, there have been games like, the second game of the season when Milwaukee was all over the Pacers. We saw that, and then you saw when the Pacers beat Milwaukee here prior to that loss last time out, they didn't work so well for Milwaukee. And there were points in that game before the All-Star break where it didn't work so well for them. But when they are on their game and they're driving and dishing, and for whatever reason Brook Lopez is a volume three-point shooter now and that's going down, that is big-time trouble. But for the Pacers, it's pretty simple. I mean, you got to bring everybody to the party. And that March for March begins coming up later on tonight. So we'll hit that. Get your calls at 239-1070. Yeah, I saw this from Dan Wetzel. Did you see this of Yahoo about Will Wade and the wiretap? You can see that coming about 17 miles away. Has there ever been a point in time when LSU hasn't cheated? Wait a minute.
Or anybody in the SEC for that matter?
They're not cheating. I mean, the conference of cheat, the SEC. That's all that. I mean, I think I would be more surprised and more shocked. Like everybody, oh, wow. Wouldn't you be more shocked if they didn't at this point? Like, I'd be shocked if, well, you know what? They've been cleared of all charges. Okay. That's the latest there. Somebody's going to have to tell me about the Shake Shack because I don't get it on social media around here. I have never been to the Shake Shack. Why would we need a Shake Shack over a Bojangles first around here? Why? Tony, Shake Shack ever?
Yeah, I went to the one in New York, and Vegas. Yeah, I like it.
What's so great about the Shake Shack? Here's what I envision. I envision a new one opening here, and you've got, and I know it's not going to be like this because I guess it may end up being downtown. I'm not sure. But I envision like when the Jack in the Box opened and you had like lines of cars just wrapped around everybody, and then everybody realized that, yeah, you know what? This kind of stinks. Wait a minute.
Look, I know it's 1993 in your head, but can't you just embrace something new and enjoy it?
I am. Why should I want a Shake Shack before Bojangles?
Why do we want Bojangles?
Why wouldn't you want it?
Well, same reason why maybe people want Shake Shack.
All right. Boilermakers lost the other night. I wasn't here. I didn't get a chance to talk about that. Butler wins on senior night a couple of nights ago, too. And IU's got a big one on the road later on tonight at Illinois. There's your must-win. Now, Zach Osterman said it wasn't a must-win a couple of days ago. I guess we're going to put that to the test if the Hoosiers can't get a win in Champaign coming up later on tonight. Talk about that. Jeff Rabjohn's going to join us as well from Pigs.com. Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. We got calls, Thomas Rhett tickets to give away, and we've got Hammer's House Party tickets to give away. Both shows coming up at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center later on this summer. All right, room for calls. Tony D, great job, you and Kevin Bowen yesterday. Thank you very much. YouTube Live right now, if you want to check it out, the channel is 1070 The Fan. Live, local, and late breaking, and whatever you want to hit. Other side next.
There's a reason that all the top realtors choose us as their preferred lender. We close on time, every time, with lower rates and customer service that no one can match. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
Only for a limited time at Bill Estes Jeep, you can take over the payments on select pre-owned vehicles for as low as $88 a month, with down payments as low as $39. That's $88 a month. We have excess inventory from demos, repos, and early lease turn-ins, with some vehicles priced as low as $39.95. These vehicles must be sold, but supplies are limited. Have a trade-in? This month you could get up to $4,000 more for your trade, no matter the vehicle's condition. The Bill Estes Takeover Sale is going on right now. Take over payments on any pre-owned vehicles as low as $88 a month, with down payments as low as $39. We have extra inventory on our lot, but it will move fast. Stop by Bill Estes Jeep today. Bill Estes Jeep, located in beautiful Brownsburg at the hottest corner in Hendricks County.
Not all will have the credit to qualify. Price excludes tax, title, license, government fees, and a documentary fee. All advertised vehicles are subject to actual dealer availability. Please check with your dealer for more information. Some vehicles offered for sale may be subject to unrepaired manufacturer safety recalls.
Welcome to the Knotfest Roadshow, the North American Tour 2019, featuring Slipknot, Volbeat, Gojira, and Behemoth for one night only. The Knotfest Roadshow rolls into Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center Friday, August 16th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Check more at knotfestroadshow.com.
Parents and grandparents, welcome back to Sophia's podcast. Before the break, we learned Kokomo spends $12,500 on education for each student every year. That's a lot. Next question for Kokomo. Where does that money go? Susan from across the street, what do you think?
Good question. Where does it go?
Mr. Blaine, my crossing guard, where do you think it should go?
Well, the teachers, of course. Maybe technology, too.
Tell us what you think at wheredoesitgokokomo.com.
Hey, John, for 1 hour heating and air conditioning, that's 855 1 hour. Right now, up and down. We're going back up. We're going to have some snow, though. We're just going to make sure that your system's running accurately here, too. I gave you this shout earlier this week, seriously, because it's been kind of a tough winter, and we're still in it right now. Make sure that that filter is changed, is fresh, and is new, and is not holding into the system back right now. And if you feel like it's something more than just that, bring in the experts at 1 hour heating and air conditioning at 855 1 hour. Their experts come in, make sure everything's running okay. If it's not, they'll pull something off the truck. They're always loaded and ready to go for whatever you need, and repair it and cut $51 off the repair job as well. Always in it for you, always making sure you are warm and comfortable on the inside, and your energy costs are where they should be this time of year. Thank you. 1 hour heating and air conditioning. That's 855 1 hour. 855 1 hour today.
A lot of men want to know what it's like after seeing the doctors at Indianapolis Men's Clinic. And a lot of women, because let's be honest, erectile dysfunction affects us too. Before the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, intimacy is like this. Womp womp. And after the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, intimacy is like this. Bow chicka bow wow. Before. After. Woohoo! Before. Dave! After. Dave. You get the idea. So what are you waiting for? The Indianapolis Men's Clinic knows that erectile dysfunction is a serious issue that affects 50% of men. That's why they offer a comprehensive approach to battling ED, low T, and even PE, plus a performance promise. If it doesn't work for you, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and book your $99 office visit today. 317-999-9000. 317-999-9000 or at indymensclinic.com.
Get up and go now, so you can go tonight.
If you're a flooring professional, you need to know about Floor & Decor. It's the perfect store just for you. Over 1 million square feet of quality tile, wood, and stone flooring in stock. Dedicated pro services and pickup area. Free 14-day storage. But even better, they are the flooring low price leader. Guaranteed. We will not be beat on price, so you save money each and every day. It's the one-stop shop for pros like you. Floor & Decor. Across from Castleton Square Mall next to Dave & Buster's. Or visit flooranddecor.com.
Hey, JMV here. If you like great comedy like I do, I got great news for you. Have you heard about it? The Helium Comedy Club is set to open their newest location downtown. It kicks off March the 8th. Jay Farrow. You know Jay, right? From Saturday Night Live. He's comedian, actor, musician, artist. I mean, just an entertaining dude. And it's just one of the guys that will be there. Steve Ranazzini of The League, Kyle Kinane of Drunk History. We've got big lineups set up, and this is going to be a great place. If you love comedy, you're going to want to be here. Helium Comedy Club. That's downtown at Georgia and Meridian next to Burger Study inside the Circle Center Mall. Hopefully we get Jay Farrow in studio. I don't know if that's happening tomorrow, but I know
Phone her tomorrow.
Huh? Phone her tomorrow.
Phone her
Jay
tomorrow.
Farrow's coming on the show tomorrow. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. He's going to be outstanding coming up this weekend. Again, it's a brand new comedy club called Helium Comedy Club. For more info on upcoming shows and tickets, heliumcomedy.com. That's heliumcomedy.com. Helium Comedy Club. Eat, drink, and be entertained.
Daquan from Indy worked at a grocery store before joining the inside sales team at Geico.
There's no way to move up at a local supermarket. I mean, you're just there until you find something else. So my something else, I want it to be actually a career so I can invest time into that and move up in the chain of command.
And move up he did. Daquan recently received his first promotion.
It was amazing. I've never been promoted before. Being promoted, again, sets jobs from careers. I would say it sets them apart.
Visit geico.job/Indy to apply.
SportsCenter updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, get up to $120 on select Ford tire purchase and installation. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
It's interesting. If you were going to ask me earlier in the year, who would be down to stretch for a Big Ten title and who would be down to stretch trying to get in the NCAA, Purdue or Indiana? I think a lot of you, certainly after the Crossroads Classic, would have said, well, are you crazy? There's no way in hell Indiana's going to be that team. No way in hell is it going to be Purdue. No way in hell is it not going to be Indiana. Matt Painter's the coach of the year in the league.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Get out the Rock Station. It's Dogs. Bob Dylan Foreplay, the Rock Station.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
I love you, dog. I love you. Legendary Jimmy, Mad Dog Matus. God, that's great.
Casey Valier and I were kind of talking Colts, and then Jimmy's name got brought up. And I said, man, I wonder if I could find him doing the 2 for Tuesday. This is dog, but I found the foursome.
Oh, that's great
for Jimmy, because I know that whenever you do that impersonation, it's spot on.
Oh my God, that is so good. I love Dog. Dog is one of the all-time greats to ever do anything in media around here. Just one of the all-time. Hey, play that one more time, just for the heck of it. This is. Can you get it really quick?
Yeah, we're ready.
This
is beautiful. Play it.
Get out the Rock Station. It's Dogs. Bob Dylan Foreplay, the Rock Station.
Well, and Dog's one of those guys that, like, you know,
he's us. That's what I've always I just wanted to be us. You know, I don't want to be anything other than us.
Well, the cool
thing
about
that's exactly what he was.
About Dog is he was always cool to me, and you know, a guy like that, he doesn't have to be, but he's the exact coolness whether he was working here or at a Bullseye event group tailgate, which is awesome, or when we're sitting at a blackjack table in Vegas together.
He's an us. I mean, he'll have a steak, he'll drink a beer, he'll have a bourbon, or he'll eat a fried bologna sandwich, man. My man owned a bar back in the day. You know what? One of the biggest menu items they had back in the day at the Long Acre was fried bologna. Dog was back in the day there. True story. This is from Sean Patrick Turley. It was great to hear JMV back on the air today. I thought for sure Tony got the show canceled with yesterday's Anything Goes segment. What happened there?
Well, I
Was
tried.
that bad?
Well, I tried.
Was it ugly?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing we've heard, but it's up there.
JMV, get Landon Collins on the show at 4:05 on Monday. Compliments of Tony.
So the period where agents can talk to teams is at 4 o'clock on Monday. So I said, well, what if I reach out to his people and just say, hey, man, you were a great conversation. We'd love to have you on.
He was. He picked up, and he was at a party with my friend Kyle Kinnett, and they were doing bullseyeeventgroup.com, and he was at the party, and Kyle said, hey, I've got a friend of mine named JMV. It's got a show in Indy. Would you mind going on? I just handed him the phone, and he came on. It was awesome. Really good conversation a couple of years back. It's from Kevin Allen. I read today it's anticipated that a compensatory pick for Jacoby after next year is a third-round max. What's your take on his value, and what would you take for him right now? My take is different, and every time I bring this up, it makes me sound like a jerk. But I don't get, and I like Jacoby. Jacoby as a backup is fantastic. I have never really understood why everybody thought that this is such a high-value trade. I've never understood that. And nobody's really ever been able to explain it to me. I always thought that the value of Jacoby and, hey, we're not going to trade him, we're not going to take this or that for him, was more made up by the Colts than it was anything else. I never really understood that. Like, I always thought that they're talking about a market value being higher than it actually was, which is part of it. I mean, that's technique, right, in free agency. Technique in trading. And that's the way I always thought. All right, 239-1070. Your calls right now, beginning with Aaron. Hello, Aaron. How are you?
Don, good to have you back. How you feeling?
Thank you, Aaron. You know what? A little bit better than yesterday, certainly. Sleeping for 48 consecutive hours helps a dude out, no doubt.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got a couple things to get off my chest. Whenever you want to cut me off and hang up on me, go for it. Just show you do your thing. I won't be upset. First of all, Tony and Kevin did awesome yesterday. And especially, nothing against you, Tony, because I love you. I love listening to you. You do a great job. Kevin is awesome. And guys need to give him more airtime because he is great to listen to. Very intelligent and really relates well, I think, with a lot of people.
Yeah, we love Kevin. No doubt about that.
So,
hanging up on you now. Bye.
Oh, man. Another thing I wanted to say is yesterday, Tony and Kevin had a guy call in during Anything Goes and just flipped out on Miles Turner and basically said that he takes ill-advised shots and he is not going to be a good player in the NBA. And I wanted to tell him, like, he was upset because Miles Turner takes threes. And I'm like, a 7-footer that shoots 30% from three in the NBA, this NBA, is a commodity, not a detriment to your team. The guy's in the 50-40 club right now. He's 50 from the field, 40% from the three, and he's 7-1. Like, that is exactly what you need from your center. And he leads the league in blocks. And everyone who thinks that Miles Turner, I know you said this over and over again, it's like a broken record, but everyone who thinks that Miles Turner needs to be this 12, 13 rebound a game guy doesn't understand what the NBA is going to. He is a rim protector, and this defense is better when he is around the rim, keeping guys out of the lane, making them to take contested mid-range jump shots and heavily contested shots at the rim. So,
and I agree with you on that. And I think, to me, the defense is porous in that category. I mean, you see a lot of guys getting around guys out front and getting into that lane, that painted area, and getting to the rim. So that's more than ever. And as much as I love Sabonis, and he is fantastic, well, there's just not the same type of rim protection when he's in there, or anybody else for that matter. Just not.
Yeah, no, and going back to that game against the Bulls where they had like 4 of his blocks were putbacks, it's not his responsibility to block guys out of the weak side after he blocks a shot. That's not his job. And if you get upset because they have 4 blocks, then you need to get upset. I love Stad, I love Kyle Quinn, I love Boyan, I love Doug McDermott and TJ Leaf, but that's their job to keep their guy out of the paint, away from the block, and go get the rebound. That is not Miles Turner's job. His job is help defense when they get beat. So they need to pick up their slack if they get beat and go find Miles' guy, box him out, so that they get the rebound, they can turn and go the other way.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, thank you for the call. I'm glad you listen every day, and I'm glad you liked Tony and Kevin yesterday because they did a fantastic job. I would agree. I'll be honest with you, though. I mean, I as much as I back him up, there are moments, and there are times, and that's just me, and I watch it too much. I do back him up a great deal, as everybody knows. I wish that at times he would not offensively disappear. Now, there's a variety of places we could go with that. But I just, because most of you think I try to protect him, I try to make sure that no, it's not like that. I see this as well. He will disappear. And I do want to see him play better against higher quality talent, better teams too. I mean, there are things, I completely agree. I mean, you want to see him raise the bar. And with this team, that's incredibly necessary because you just can't have guys like that are going to have off nights, especially against good teams like you're going to see tonight, or basically like you're going to see most of the month, the rest of the way in March. You can't have an off night without your guy out there, without Oladipo out there, and not pay the price. I wish he wouldn't disappear. I don't mind if he shoots threes. I mean, you got to be absolutely crazy if you don't think. I mean, how many big men right now that aren't shooting threes? I mean, who are the big guys out there that don't step out and pop threes? Whiteside?
Hell, he probably would.
Cauley Stein? Does Ayton, as a rookie, shoot threes?
He does. Nurkic, maybe.
I think he shoots threes, doesn't he? Jokic shoots threes. Cousins shoots threes.
We sure as hell know Brook Lopez does.
He's
we'll
reborn.
See that again tonight.
Drummond doesn't. He doesn't shoot threes. But, I mean, it's just – and the thing you got to understand about Miles, and this is always going to happen. It is never going to go away. It is always going to be game to game with him. Always. Some people are kind of turning the page on it. Others just won't. And that's going to be the way that it is. JMV, back in 2005, I randomly went to a Kip's Pub in Castleton, and they had a weekly lingerie show back then. Jimmy Mad Dog Matus was the promo guy walking in with the girls hyping the event. It was absolutely hilarious. Awesome guy indeed. JMV, Tony had some guy on Anything Goes trying to say you and Tony hate each other. Really?
He asked if that was what he asked.
What did you guys say about that?
I don't know. What do you want me to play it back?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that call, yeah.
Okay, I can find it.
Can you find it and play it back?
No problem.
All right, a quick break. Andrew, I'm going to leave with you. We'll talk a little IU, mix that in coming up on the other side. Must-win situation number 1 to continue to have a sniff. What's Seton Hall last night? How many bubble teams, and I mean very fringe, edge-worthy bubble, were a little bit disappointed in last night's outcomes. And it's a must-win situation, I think, from most standpoints for IU and Illinois later on tonight in Champaign. We'll hit that. Your calls, Pacers, Colts, free agency, more next.
Vote on your favorite memory of the greatest moments in IHSAA basketball tournament history, and it could get you free stuff as well. Log on and vote now, 1070thefan.com.
Hey, Dan Doggett here from Matt Nettleton and Sandler Training. Selling is like sports. It's highly competitive. To get the best out of your sales team, a coach must help you master the fundamentals. Prospecting for new business is an absolute must. Matt Nettleton will be conducting a prospecting clinic to help you. It's Thursday. It's March 14th at his office right here on the Circle. We've put together a great offer. If you're in sales or you run a business, text SALES, S-A-L-E-S, to 317-678-8800 to register. Use the code DAKICH, D-A-K-I-C-H, to save $200. This clinic will help you identify, help you engage, and close the right prospects. Work on the fundamentals. Text Matt Nettleton and Sandler Training. It's 317-678-8800. Don't forget, when you call, use the promo code Dockage. This is a deal of a lifetime for you salesmen.
Okay, listen up. What's the one thing Hoosiers like more than race cars? More than tenderloin sandwiches? I'll tell you, basketball. But not just any brand of basketball. I'm talking about the IHSAA. I'm talking about Indiana high school basketball. This right here is pure basketball. No theatrics, no gimmicks, no hot shots. This is a fundamentals first, team-based, hustle and get after it brand of hoops. This is real deal basketball for real deal basketball fans like you. This is your chance to see the greatest game ever played in its purest form. The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament continues this Saturday with a regional round at gyms across the state. Tickets are only $7. The chance to experience Hoosier hysteria live and in person only comes once a year. Don't miss it. The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament is proudly presented by the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever.
Hey, John, for PAI, it's WeGrowHairIndy.com. I don't know if anybody has seen this in social media. They sent it to me, WeGrowHairIndy.com, or on Twitter at WeGrowHairIndy. Former Colts offensive lineman Rick DeMulling taking my advice and going for it right now, too. There it is. Thanks to JMV for helping send him our way. I saw Rick at an event before a Colts game a couple of months ago, and he goes, hey, does the hair thing really work? And I said, well, look at me, man. It's incredibly growing and fantastically flowing. I said, check it out. Talk to Darren Andrews. He got that private consultation, and he is ready, willing, and able to go on. It's your real growing hair. There's nothing fake about it. I mean, seriously. It's not like an old-school toupee. Nothing's glued on or strapped on or stapled in. It's just your real growing hair again. Multi-unit hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE with PAI. But first things first, you got to get all the information that you can from Darren Andrews. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Kyle Knezovich here for Body Sculpt RX. Dan Dockich and I lost a combined 38 pounds, and now I'm doing Cool Sculpting. Cool Sculpting is the #1 non-invasive lipo procedure in the U.S. and can reduce fat from areas that working out and diet can't do. I worked out the same day as being Cool Sculpted. See the certified medical staff at Body Sculpt RX for your free consultation. The 45-day cleanse, shape reclaimed program. Cool Sculpting. Dan Dockich and producer Kyle approved.
At a dinner party, I heard a guy say, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Dimitri Martin.
And I just wanted to smack him in the face, you know?
Wandering Mind Tour.
And he'd be like, what the hell did you do that for? You tell me.
This Friday night, 8 p.m., Egyptian Room at Old National Center. Reserve seats are on sale now at the Old National Center box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
That's your belief, man. That's your thing. I don't know.
Dimitri Martin, part of the Cricket Wireless Concert Series.
Hey, Dan Dockich here for my friends at Just Add Water Boats, the only place I know of where you can ride before you buy on Indy's only test lake. Just Add Water Boats is the oldest boat dealer in Indy and the largest Yamaha boat dealer in the Midwest. Head south 465 on the east side. Take a look at over 400 new and used boats. Make sure you check out their #1 selling boat from Yamaha. Buy now. Take advantage of manufacturer incentives that are going on at this moment online at justaddwaterboats.com. Just Add Water Boats will add just a little more fun to your life.
Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. It's always our goal to make lives better for the good people of Indianapolis. That includes helping children in need. That's why we'll donate $100 to the Riley Hospital for Children for every new HVAC system we install. Call today and bring comfort to your home and to our kids.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. Offer valid February 1st through March 31st. License H0010668.
Go trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. Wednesday night at 7 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Yeah, who dislikes who more, Tony or JMV? Because it's obvious you guys don't like each other. Who dislikes who more?
Thanks, guys. I have tried, and I've been to therapy, and I've prayed about trying to be on the Miles Turner bandwagon.
Oh.
Despite the fact he had some block shots yesterday, one of you guys said about 5 minutes ago that he would dominate against a New York team. He would not dominate against anybody. His shot selection, his getting lost, his desire to jack up three-pointers as a 7+ footer is baffling. And his inability to get rebounds at that size when he shows that he can block a shot, to me, is amazing. The other night I think yesterday, he blocked 4 shots in one quarter, and every one of those possessions resulted in points.
I was pissed. I cussed everybody out in the locker room. Not gonna lie, but I mean, it is what it is, man. My team has my back always. There's a little lapse right there, but I'm not. That's something that we don't leave in the past. Just keep on.
All right, let's go with that in order. Miles Turner from Fox Sports Indiana after the Bulls game talking to JJ. A guy that clearly doesn't like Miles, which there are many of them out there. Why did the guy think that you and I didn't get along? What was that about?
I guess we rip each other a lot.
Well, and you also said that, quote, I'm very frustrating. What the hell's that about?
Oh, come on.
How am I very frustrating?
Go home. Ask your wife. She'll tell you.
How am I very frustrating? I'm pretty sure it's straightforward. I mean, I'm like an open damn book here. There's no frustration.
Well, you can't remember what next live read's coming up.
Well, what's frustrating about that? I told you my short term is not as good as my long term. And if there's something I can take for that, and I'm sure that there is, something I can ingest or inject or place into, put under the tongue.
Come on, man.
Sniff.
I thought this was the show with thick skin.
It is. No, it is. I was curious. It is. No, I'm not going to, We're not going to whine and cry about it. I was just kind of curious.
You know what
the frustration comment.
You know what the most frustrating thing is?
What's that?
And it's not even your fault. It's like everybody likes to just go through me to get to you, and they just need to just go to you. It's just that easy. I'm a communicator, so let's just, you need him, get him.
All right, that was yesterday. Tony and Kevin during Anything Goes.
And one more.
Yeah.
You frustrate me because you get hungry and you're like, okay, well then what you have to eat, John? Oh, granola bar.
Yeah.
Well, you're not you when you're hungry.
It's been awesome. For 3 days, I have had, are you ready? An English muffin. In 3 days.
That sounds very dry.
It is awesome. 3 days, and I don't feel hungry right now, so I'm not going to force it.
No soup, no.
No soup, no. English muffin.
No gas station tuna?
No, IU, Illinois, a must-win for the Hoosiers on the road later on tonight, a Big Ten play. Andrew wants to hit that up at 239-1070. Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Great, thank you.
You look better. You look hydrated and you got a good complexion, man.
Thanks, man.
Look, man.
I value my complexion. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you're on the mend.
The thing of it is, when I was 14, I started putting Noxzema on my face, and I've never stopped. Now I'm 49.
Look, so whatever happens tonight, I don't think Archie should get fired this year or next year. I think he should be allowed to coach out his contract. I kind of feel like IU basketball fans, to me, are a lot like Al Bundy from Married with Children. They look back at their days at Polk High School and their records, and they haven't done anything in the last couple of decades other than sell women's shoes. And if you want to build a program of consistency, you gotta keep the same coach. And I think he's going in the right direction. I never thought they should have gotten rid of Tom Crean in the first place. Thought he was a great recruiter. Had a couple of bad years, but as far as the Big Ten goes, there's a lot of other teams that have a much better system than IU. So it's going to take a while, and I think we kind of need to dial back our expectations right now.
And thank you for the call, Andrew. I appreciate it. The problem you're going to have with that is, I'm going to go ahead, and if you don't mind, IU fans out there, I'm going to speak for you. There are going to be very few that are ever going to, come to any realization that they should dial back their expectations in the basketball program. That's never going to happen. Maybe some of you already suggest you have, but I bet you deep down inside, if you've been around that thing for a long time, you haven't. Now, as far as the head coach is concerned, yeah, sure, they shouldn't fire him after this year. And they probably won't fire him after next year unless the year is bad. But how much work? You think next year they're going to lose 12 of 13? I mean, think about how bad you would have to be to have it considered in year 3. After year 2, you lose 12 of 13 over the course of the season. So, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to stick with it. Whether people like it or not, they are going to stick with it. And let's just face it, still with Tom Crean, it was time to move on. The Tom Crean thing had run its course, and it was time to move on, even if you are incredibly unhappy with what you have seen through 2 years of Archie Miller.
Georgia put up 39 points last night at home.
I did see that final, but I mean, even if you are upset with this, it was still time to bail on that. Quick break. We'll come back. Jeff Rabjohns of Peaks.com. A little bit later on, Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 is going to join us, too. Get a lot of Colts free agency, Pacers, Milwaukee tonight, IU, Illinois, and a lot more for you. Hour 2's next.
Big names.
Andrew Luck.
So, AJ.
Pacers president Kevin Pritchard.
Talking to Chris Ballard.
Big interviews.
How's the shoulder feeling?
It feels awesome. Robert Wall, I don't think there's a bad contract in baseball.
What are your issues? What are the problems? What are some of the solutions you have?
Big news.
Oladipo out indefinitely.
It sucks. If they're talking about it.
The focus has been not on what we don't have, what we do have.
We're talking about it. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Your home for indie sports.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back at my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Let's face it, Dan, guys avoid hospitals like the plague. And I get it. But according to our friends at Franciscan Health, colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death, and it's treatable. That's why I decided, the heck with putting it off. I got my colonoscopy. And I was right behind you, no pun intended. Look, guys, if you're over 50, suck it up and get it done. It's a piece of cake. Seriously, the folks at Franciscan Health couldn't be better. You go in, you get the procedure, and when you're done, you get the results right away. And if all goes well, it could be 10 years before you have to go again and get another. And with Madness games on, you got a great excuse to sit around and watch basketball for a day. 1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime. So get the procedure for you, your wife, and your kids. Go to franciscanhealth.org/over50 to learn the facts. That's franciscanhealth.org/over50. Then call 833-439-3464 to schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. And tell them Dan and Big Joe told you to call.
Hey, John, for 1 hour heating and air conditioning. 855 1 hour, the efficiency of your unit. You got to make sure things are running accurately, too. And see, we're really getting close now, right? A couple of months away, if not maybe a less amount of time than that, of making that transition to where you're going to want to start looking seriously at your cooling unit. It's going to make sure everything's running the way that it should, because some of the toughest times of the year for your heating and cooling unit is that transition time. You know, right now where it's still cold and you're still leaning on the heat, to when at some point in time in April, you're probably going to want to be tempted, if we hit upper 70s or something in temperatures, to hit the AC button on that thing without doing a firm check. Make sure your unit is running quality, the way that it should, and not costing you money. So 1 hour heating and air conditioning is in there. Call them over right now. They make sure everything's running okay. If not, they fix it, and they'll cut $51 off of their repair job. 855 1 hour. It's 1 hour heating and air conditioning. Tell them I sent you. 855 1 hour today.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? It's Wings Schooner Madness time. While you're prepping for the big dance, come get slam dunk dine-in only discounts on big, ice-cold domestic schooners, award-winning jumbo wings, and crispy boneless wings.
You heard him right, Wings Etc. fans. From now through March 13th, Wings Etc.'s award-winning jumbo and boneless wings are just 79 cents each, and domestic schooners are just $5.25.
The beer is cold, the deals are hot, the TVs are tuned to all the conference tournaments, and here's the game plan.
Get 79-cent wings and domestic schooners for just $5.25. Now through March 13th, only at Wings Etc.
Now's not the time to drop the ball on this limited time pricing, because Wings Schooner Madness is only for limited time and only at Wings Etc.
Get 79-cent wings and domestic schooners for just $5.25. Now through March 13th, Wings Etc. Grill and Pub in Avon, Canby, Crawfordsville, Franklin, Greenfield, Kokomo, Noblesville, Peru, Plainfield, and in Indianapolis at Shadeland and at Emerson and East Thompson Road.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
All right, CarX is the place. You guys have been driving around Central Indiana. It's just pothole laden right now, and you've had issues, right? I've been there and done that, too. That's where I take my vehicles to CarX. I'll give you a great example, too. My wife texted me the other day in one of my awake hours and said, hey, we need to get the vehicle in to CarX because I think I've got a bent rim. And CarX is the best place, too, because we have all these little sensors that go off in our vehicles now in the tires, in making sure that there's full inflation. And because of these potholes, that sometimes screws that up. So make sure you go to CarX for any pothole trouble you might have had with your tires or your wheels. If you feel as if your brakes might be pulling a little bit, CarX is the place for brakes. And any annual service, any type of service that's necessary, Joe Childers' CarX location, he makes sure that everything is running smoothly. Guarantees timely service, great prices, and people you can trust. Tell Joe Childers I sent you to CarX today.
The Pacers hit the road to take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight at 7:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I am in the parking lot right now, hammering a bacon, egg, and cheese, hold the cheese, in preparation to go deep with 4 hits and put on a laser show to the likes of which you have never witnessed in your entire life.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
That was weird.
What?
Nothing.
That was weird, and you look up at me like that, like, what's going on?
Rav John's into secondpiece.com. Mike Chappell, a little Colts free agency conversation into 5. At Thomas Rhett tickets, his country show, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center this summer. And Hammer's House Party featuring, among others, In Vogue, Color Me Bad, Tone Loc, Dougie Fresh, Get Fresh Crew. It's a good show. Kid and Play. Hey, this reminder, too, Helium Comedy Club opens coming up tomorrow. Jay Farrow is going to crack that bad boy open down inside the Circle Center Mall, right off of Meridian in Georgia right there. Jay Farrow, who was on Saturday Night Live, is a very funny dude. He's going to join us on the show tomorrow, too. But they have a lineup that is fantastic. And a lot of you have said, hey, we got to get a really strong comedy club presence going on. And we got it here. It's Helium Comedy Club, and it's right down inside the Circle Center Mall. I actually took a tour a couple of weeks ago as they were still building it, and it's awesome. I mean, awesome. So it's right across from Burger Study. You can see it Meridian in Georgia. It is the Helium Comedy Club, and Jay Farrow is in there this weekend, and Jay is going to kick off the grand opening tomorrow, and Jay is going to join us on the show tomorrow, too, which is absolutely outstanding. Kyle Kinane, you guys ever watch Drunk History? Drunk History is a very funny show. He's a very funny dude. I saw where, and Jay Muse has been on this show a number of times. And you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, Jay Muse, who are you talking about? From Jay and Silent Bob fame, from Clerks. I think Jay's going to be down there at some point. They are bringing in national quality while not only bringing in national quality guys, folks, men, women, they're also going to have a lot of local opportunities for you too, which I think is awesome. JMV, I heard you bring up National Cereal Day a little bit earlier. I'm with you on that. I don't trust anybody who does not have a favorite cereal, one that creates chocolate milk in the bottom of the bowl. That is so right. Like I just saw the top sellers. What do you think the top selling cereal is out there?
Frosted Flakes.
Number 3.
Fruit Loops.
Number 7.
Oh, man. Captain Crunch.
Not even on the top 10 list.
Lucky Charms.
Number 6.
Raisin Bran.
Not on the top 10.
Regular old cornflakes.
Well, it's not on there.
Generic Lucky Charms out of a bag from Aldi.
Lucky Diamonds. Fortunate Diamonds. Is that what you get? Is that what you get?
You get nine marshmallows per bag.
Fortunate Jewels.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is number 5.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios is number 2.
Raisin Bran.
You said that. It is not on there.
Cheerios.
Number 1 overall.
Cheerios?
Mm-hmm.
Overrated.
Yeah. Number 10, Fruity Pebbles. Life, number 9. Good God. How about just eat wallpaper paste?
Eat the cardboard at the of the box.
The hell's out there eating Life? Frosted Mini Wheats. Fruit Loops. Number 6, Lucky Charms. Number 5, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number 4, Honey Bunches of Oats. Frosted Flakes, number 3. Honey Nut Cheerios, number 2. Cheerios, number 1. And nary a chocolate-based cereal in the top 10, which we all should be embarrassed about. Listen, I'm not hanging with anybody that does not dig on a bowl of cereal that does create chocolate milk in the bottom of it. Sorry.
What's your favorite?
Probably Cocoa Puffs or... We go Cocoa Puffs or chocolate, Pebbles? Cocoa Pebbles?
Yeah, I love Count Chocula.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Didn't I say Jason Mewes?
Yeah.
What did I say? Jay Mewes? Did I say Jay?
Yeah.
I might have said it. Jason, yeah.
I call you Jay.
Sorry. Yeah, I think I said Jay. Jason, I know. Jay and Silent Bob, so that's what I meant. He's been on here a number of times. I will call him by his correct name when he comes on here next time, I promise. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. Get a big one in Champaign-Urbana later on tonight. It's a must-win, I'm assuming. I guess everybody should be assuming for the Hoosiers as far as any type of NCAA tournament appearance at all. And then some. Jeff Rabjohns joins us. So what's your expectation of what team you're going to see in Champaign out of this Hoosier squad tonight, Jeff?
I think it's at least going to resemble, if not look like, the team that's played the last 4 games. Because one game can be a complete aberration. 2 could be a little of an oddity. You get to where you string 3, 4, 5 in a row, and that becomes a little bit who you are at that moment in time.
Yeah.
And things can always change, but they've played 4 good games in a row. Now they've gone 2-2, but they played really well against Purdue, even though they lost 48-46. They played well against Iowa, and then obviously had 2 big wins after that, including at home, over top 10 Michigan State. But I think they're going to resemble that team. But this is not an easy game. I see way too many people talking about Illinois' record, and it's like they're a lot better the last 6 weeks than they were the first 2 months of the season. They brought in Feliz. He's playing a lot better. Their guards are playing much faster. Their pressure has gotten turned up. If you don't pass the ball well to move it and you don't drive the ball well to score it, you can have problems. And, I had to come over here to Champaign, Illinois yesterday, and, people are buzzing over here that, hey, it's not going to happen this year, but they think they've got something started. They've at least got the engine going. And I think that's going to be, you get all those orange-clad students right there on the end, on the floor. This has a chance to be more difficult than it looks on paper if you just look at the season-long record of Illinois.
Yeah, and see, I would agree with that too. I think most anything regarding IU, because there is always just, let's be honest, a certain unknown there. I think anything is challengeable at this point too, and especially as you mentioned, a team in Illinois that may not have the record base that people will be impressed with, but certainly their level of play had been on the rise recently.
Yeah, it really has, and the other thing is a part of it is that they're a difficult prep because they're unusual. They're going to deny things with all 5 defenders all over the court. They're not going to try to force you to take bad shots. They're going to try to get you to turn it over. They're going to try to speed you up. And people say their transition defense is poor, which is true. But a little bit of that is they almost want to bait you into thinking it's going to be easy. I'm going to get to the rim. They would be happy giving you a layup if you're going to turn around and turn it over 3 of the next 6 possessions. So you can get easy ones, but even when you get easy ones, you still need to understand it's not going to be easy every possession. They're still going to deny everything. They almost want to, get you to start getting cute and fancy with your passes. That's when they're really in their wheelhouse. The other thing they've really improved in, Ayo Dosunmu, who has certainly really been on a rise, the freshman guard from Chicago for Illinois. He, Trent Frazier, Feliz, they've really started working well together playing at speed. If Trent Frazier gets the ball after a defensive rebound, the other 2 guys just sprint. I mean, they turn their back on the ball and go. And you've really got to be down there. That was a big thing that Illinois got against Northwestern the other night. They got AO running to the corner, and they would just sometimes the ball would beat the Northwestern defense down the court. It wasn't 2-on-1. Sometimes the ball actually was it was 1-on-none. Or they would have somebody sprint to the corner, and it would be a catch, take a dribble, look, wave at my girlfriend, wink at a cheerleader. You got 3 seconds to take a shot kind of thing. So you got to understand they're going to play fast, and you've got to deal with the fact that they're going to play fast.
Jeff Rabjohns of Peaks.com's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, let's just go recent history here. From what we've seen from IU, it had obviously 12 of 13 wasn't good, but recently you kind of like what you see. What have you liked the most, Jeff, most recently out of this team, individually or just overall team-wise?
I think individually, Rob Phinisee is starting to look like he did early in the season, going back to the Marquette win for IU time. Obviously, the concussion impacted him. And even when he returned after the concussion, he wasn't himself. Now, he might have been fine medically. I don't mean that, but I just mean his play. He was a half step slow, or, you look at him and you go, man, he didn't hit that. There was a crease there. He didn't hit it hard. He normally does. I think he's really the guy who has individually, gotten back to himself. And he has such impact. Obviously, being a point guard, you have the ball in your hands. That's a part of it. But I think he's really gotten back to how he's playing. His defense, because he has strength and because he has really good footwork, he's not the fastest cat in the world, but he has phenomenal footwork for a freshman. The way he defended Cassius Winston the final 13-plus minutes, and then Devontae Green was a part of that too, but Cassius Winston got 1 basket the final 13 minutes and 50 seconds of that game. And some of the stuff that Phinisee took away, especially the final 4, 5, 6 minutes.
It looked like a defensive drill. It did. Like a foot movement, a sliding drill is what it looked like.
And the fact that, with the way Michigan State sets screens, you don't get bumped. You get banged. Michigan State wants to, they want to hit you on their screens. They don't want you to just bump into them. They're the way they set them with that last little movement into it, their objective, and it's not, I'm not saying it's dirty or anything, but they want to bang you. They want you to realize you're going to get hit coming through a Michigan State screen. And he fought through 2 of those on that last play. So I think individually he's been, much improved. Team-wise, I think there has been an overall just buy-in to whatever 5 guys are on the floor have to be intense and play hard. No possessions off, not even one of the 5 guys. Because sometimes there were times 3 of the 5 guys would be playing hard. But if 2 guys kind of slack off, it looks like the team is slacking. And I think a little bit of some of the commentary was unfair to some guys who were trying, but other guys were slacking off. But I think the overall just effort, intensity, focus, that's really taken a big step up. And I think that's overall, to me, last 4 games, that's the biggest team change.
Boy, you talk about Phinisee, though. I mean, he was so good defensively late, so good. And it was like a foot movement drill that you would see when you're trying to teach young kids about how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of those things. I mean, I remember going back and watching that thing, when I got home and watched it late that night, and then the next day watched it again. And I remember, like, rewinding that and going, this is going to be on a clinic drill somewhere. So somebody, one of these coaches who does this stuff is going to grab this and say, okay, here's how you defend the ball screen when the guy tries to turn. Because Cassius Winston was trying to turn the corner to drive. He cut off that, then turned around and stuck with him, on that little step back on the baseline. But you're right. I mean, that was clinic stuff.
Yeah, well, Jeff Rabjohns of Peaks.com is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Is it even worth much of an effort to talk about, what has to be done for the Hoosiers to get an NCAA tournament possibility? I mean, do we just say win games and win as many as they can, and then hope that other crap happens around them? Because I don't know how else to put it. Because that's really the only logical thing I can come up with.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's certainly the most obvious thing. I mean, you kind of play with the math a little bit, but the biggest thing is most of the math shows they got to win at least 3 more. Now, potentially it could be 2.
Yeah.
If everybody else who was potentially in the bubble lost out, that's a really, that's down there in the 0.8% kind of deals. So really, they've got to get 3 wins. And 3 wins is probably the minimum on, reasonable scenarios. So I think they'd have to win out, and they got to go get one in the Big Ten tournament. But if they do that, Ohio State just lost. That hurt them. Florida just lost. That hurt them. There's been some teams that have sort of been around the bubble that have lost. So it's kind of like the bubble continues. Last 3-4 days, the bubble softened even more. And so, I mean, the rule says you got to take 68 teams. It doesn't say there has to be 68 great teams. Yeah. You got to take 68.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a couple of teams that you look at and go, boy, that's not an overall impressive record, and that's probably going to be very accurate, but you got to take 68. And Indiana does have a very legitimate window in there to get in the field if they can get 3 more wins.
You've been doing the math. Have you maybe hard targeted certain teams? Like, I'll give you a great example. Were you watching Seton Hall? Did the Seton Hall win last night? Like, was that kind of a glancing blow a little bit for possibilities?
It was a little bit. I don't know. It's certainly one of the ones that you look at and say, okay, does this matter? Yeah, that one mattered. You also look at Ole Miss sitting there at 19-11. I think Ole Miss is in, but the math says it could get dicey. If they lost one more, then kind of got knocked off early in the SEC tournament. But they're sitting up there right now at 36 in the net rankings. So I think they're in. And like you look at some of the other traditionally one bid leagues. There's a couple of them that, I'm not too sure if they're one-bid leagues. I mean, there could be some bid stealers. I mean, I think VCU is definitely in. They're up there at 31 in the net rankings, 24-6. If somebody knocks them off in the Atlantic 10, then all of a sudden, in the Atlantic 10 tournament, then all of a sudden the A10 gets 2. So you're stealing a bid from an at-large. There's a couple, mid-major leagues that you look at and go, there's a possibility that could happen. So that's something to look at as well. And I think in the AAC as well, I think, Central Florida sitting there 28 in the net rankings. I think they've earned a bid, even if it has to be an at-large. So if they get knocked off, boom, there's another bid that goes away.
I'm just Tony's writing some stuff here down too. Southern Conference, Wofford, Furman, Mountain West, Nevada, Utah State, and obviously the West Coast. I would have to think that IU fans probably would want to see that go chalk and see Gonzaga win it, not give St. Mary's an opportunity. Those maybe 3 conferences that are worth watching if you're interested.
Yeah, those are 3 that you're definitely going to keep an eye on, especially with Wofford and the SoCon. I mean, Wofford's they're 26-4. They're 14 in the net rankings. They're in. They could lose, and they're in. They've earned it. So you definitely want them to win that bid. And then, I think with Gonzaga, you want them to win. And even in the Mountain West, they're going to get a couple. But I think you want, Nevada, Utah State to end up there in the title game. You don't want something funky to happen,
right,
toward the end and, I mean, I don't think UNLV's good enough. I don't think Boise State's good enough. I don't think San Diego State's good enough. I don't think Fresno State's good enough. But, weird things can happen in a conference tournament. You just don't want somebody to steal a bid. If a league like the Mountain West, they probably only deserve 2. But if something crazy, somebody comes from 6th place and wins the tournament, they might get 3.
So Tony just wrote up the first 5 out according to Lenardi's. TCU, Furman, Murray State, St. Mary's, and then IU is in the first 5 out as of right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't looked at that today. I looked at it yesterday. But that sounds like there's just been some slight changes.
Yeah.
But Indiana's been kind of hanging around that, next 4 out, first 4 out, that area. And basically a group of 8 where, they need to do some work and might need at least a little help. I mean, obviously, if Indiana won out the regular season and then went to the Big Ten tournament and got 2 wins, I think they would be in regardless of what happens, almost regardless. But I think, when you look at more realistic scenarios, they got to get at least 3 wins and might need a smidge of help here or there.
So Jeff Rabjohns at Peaks.com. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I have a lot of people asking me this, and I'm going to ask you in the form of the question that helps promote your site here. So JT Morgan, Jeff, wants to know, can you ask Jeff about Peaks changing the crystal ball for Kentucky regarding Keon Brooks?
Oh, yeah. The crystal ball is something that's part of the 247 Sports Network, which obviously Peaks.com is a part of and under that umbrella. And one of the things they do is a crystal ball, and it's basically, anybody who affiliated with any of the 247 sites or the national writers can make a prediction on where they think a player can go. Crystal ball, kind of a cool name. I think Jerry Meyer gets credit for coming up with that. But sometimes it's a gut feeling. Sometimes it's information. Sometimes it's a combination of both. And I think what happened right now is based upon some things that I've heard. I know based upon some things that Brian Snow has heard. It sounds like Kentucky's the team to beat at this point in time. Now, 2 key things there. It sounds like and at this point in time, okay? Recruiting changes sometimes. What a kid thinks in the morning might change if he breaks up with his girlfriend after school. I'm not kidding. There's one kid, and I can't say who because I don't want to, throw it out there. But he broke up with his girlfriend and was so angry he changed where he was going to go to college. It had nothing to do with IU. It was a national kid. But weird things happen. Now, I don't think anything that's going to happen with Keon Brooks, but he's going to announce on the 15th. It's March 7th. Indiana is still very much in there. Archie Miller has been in regular contact with Keon, with his dad, with his mom, with his high school coaches. So I think this is tight. I know what I've been told. I know what I've been told by people who think at the end of the day, they think Kentucky is going to win out, but they say they think. Nobody's sitting here saying they know. So that's kind of what goes into the crystal ball. And, we're really encouraged to make those crystal ball picks. Even if you're not sure, they tell us, just go with your gut. What do you think? So I think that's what happened there. But it's going to, it's going to be an interesting week because there have been various points in time where he has really liked certain schools the most, okay? Another thing to keep in mind is when you get down to the end of a recruitment, some people say, well, why doesn't he just love my favorite school, whoever your favorite school is? Obviously, IU fans want every kid to love IU the way the fans love IU. It doesn't work that way with recruits. At one point in time, Keon had nearly 50 schools trying to recruit him. He cut it down. So think about being a big-time athlete. You got 50-some schools, and you cut it down to 3, and you've had to tell 47 people no. That's a lot of heavy lifting just to get down to 3. So if you're one of the final 3, 4, the recruit likes you a lot. And sometimes it's very small things that separate these things. There are times, it might be 52%, 48%, and the kid goes with the 52%. And people say, well, why didn't he like my favorite school? He didn't like us at all. He didn't pick us. It's like, no, you were one of the final 2 or 3. He liked you a lot. Something small put, a school over the edge. And it's worked in IU's favor. It's worked against IU. It's been, same with a lot of schools when you're talking about big-time players. But so anyway, that's a very long-winded answer. I apologize. But I hope that explains kind of what that crystal ball means and kind of what it doesn't mean. Doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean it's done. It's just saying Peegs, based on what he's heard and his gut, at this point in time, is giving Kentucky, the slightest of leads. The wind is slightly blowing, and this is not a gale force storm blowing. There's a little slight breeze to the trees that we're hearing. So that's all that is.
And I'll add on that final quick thing. If it turns out that he does end up at Kentucky, how much of an effect, I don't know how else to word this, how bumming would that be to the IU coaching staff, certainly not getting a kid of that high quality, high caliber as a player?
Well, I mean, anytime you're involved in big-time recruitments like that, five-star level guys, you're trying to win. You also realize you're going to lose some. It's like Bill Self has said for years. If you're hearing yes more than you're hearing no, you're not recruiting enough of the right kind of players. Because if you're recruiting the right kind of players, you're only going to get a small percentage of them. If you've got 3 open scholarships and you recruit 15 guys and you get 3 5-stars, your fan base is probably pretty excited. You got 3 5-stars coming in. You might have gone 3 for 15 in recruiting, which percentage-wise sounds awful, but it's about who you get. And the other thing is, the staff is certainly still all in on Keon. I want to make that clear. They're all in on trying to get Keon. And I think, again, this is not over with. Just because there's some crystal ball gut predictions does not mean this is over. But I think this current IU staff has done in my eyes, pretty phenomenal job going from 0 to landing Romeo. Prior to the coaching change, the chances of Romeo Langford playing at Indiana were 0. Prior to the coaching change, the chances of Trace Jackson Davis committing to Indiana were 0. Prior to the coaching change, the chances of Indiana landing Keon Brooks was 0. Not 1%, not 5%, 0. So they've gone, they've landed 2 of them, Romeo Langford, McDonald's All-American last year from New Albany, Trace Jackson Davis, McDonald's All-American this year from Center Grove. And they're one of basically the final 3 key schools for Keon Brooks. I know Keon has a listed final 6. I get that. I think I'm giving an opinion here. I think it's going to be one of 3 at most. So, this current staff has done a really good job getting back in with the state of Indiana. They've really restarted this thing, quickly. And they've landed some other meaningful players. Robert Fennessy was, 4-star point guard out of McCutcheon. He's certainly going to be a helpful guy. They landed Armand Franklin from a Cathedral. The guy who shot nearly 40% from 3 this year, averaged 23.7 points, a little over 7 rebounds. Franklin, as a 6'5" guard, led his team in scoring and rebounding, playing against the 10th-ranked schedule in the state according to Sagarin ratings. So this current staff is getting IU back involved and landing guys and giving themselves a chance with a lot of key guys in state.
Jeff, I always appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Peegs.com, Jeff Rabjohns on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Enjoy the game tonight, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, my friend. See you soon.
It's Jeff Rabjohns right there. You know that what they have in Champaign that we used to have not around here, but used to have in Bloomington, they still have in Champaign, Tony? Know what that is?
Nudie video stores.
Not nudie video stores. It is great to that level. I'll explain next.
Country music superstar Thomas Rhett is turning up the heat. Very Hot Summer Tour 2019. Friday, June 21st, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Thomas Rhett with special guests Dustin Lynch, Russell Dickerson, and Rhett Akins. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey, Dan Dockich here. When it comes to managing money for retirement, I need someone I can trust. That's why I'm here with Casey Marks of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors.
Dan, I know you appreciate a game plan that you can stick to.
Absolutely true. I want a safe plan.
Dan, we look at all sources of income to create a custom-tailored income floor. That's an income that you'll never outlive. Along with minimizing your taxes, we're going to look at long-term care concerns and insure our clients so that a healthcare scenario never affects your standard of living or family's inheritance. We're going to protect you against creditors by using specific accounts that are creditor protected. Finally, we're going to ensure that your legacy is left intact for your spouse and family.
Get a customized smart money plan handcrafted for your specific goals and needs. Call Casey at 844-896-SAFE. That's 896-7233 or go online at crownhaven.com.
It takes courage to talk with that someone special when there are problems in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction, or PE, can shatter your confidence and make your relationship challenging. You can put an end to these issues. Have the courage to make just one confidential visit to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and get that spark back in your relationship. The doctors at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic offer the latest solutions for all ED and PE issues, and you'll see results in your first visit, or there's no charge. Call 999-9000 to meet with their licensed providers, no matter your age or your conditions. Diabetes, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, low testosterone causing your issue. It doesn't matter. They can help. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000 or online at indymensclinic.com. Have the courage to take that first step. Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Connecticut Water is the best water possible. JMV for my friends John, Joe, and Dennis. Yeah. John, Joe, and Dennis of Connecticut. The two locations here in central Indiana, and the best water is really a visit or a phone call away, and here's why. The Premier Series water softener is fantastic, and you're going to find them at the greatest prices of the year right now. And if you've dealt with hard water in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is awful. It affects everything from how your clothes are washed to how your skin feels getting out of the shower or the tub, and then obviously the taste and the smell of your water too. Premier Series water softener fixes all of that. And think about this too, the best prices of the year for the in-home drinking water station. That's right now at Connecticut. Tell the guys that I sent you. Two locations, northeast side off of I-69, and on the south side, that's US 31 and Southport Road. My friends Joe, John, and Dennis online for the best water. That's Connecticut. And check out our video, our commercial that was shot at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on how Tony and I were rejuvenated just by drinking Connecticut water. That's ConnecticutIndy.com today.
Hey there, it's Stan Dockett. You know Key Bank is the official banking home of the Indiana Pacers, and over there, financial progress is the game plan. No matter if you're ahead or behind, you can always be going for the financial win when you use the red key. Key Bank is member FDIC.
Royal Spa Hot Tubs is, simply put, the best hot tub on the planet. Hey, it's JMV for Bob Dapper and my friends at Royal Spa. Relaxation is a visit away. Relaxation is something I think we all need a lot more of. And now is a great time to reach out to Bob Dapper and my friends, Derek and the gang at Royal Spa, and see about a Royal Spa hot tub. Best part about it is they manufacture those hot tubs on the south side of Indy, so there's nothing shipped in. They build it to your specifics. I mean, where you want the jets, how many jets you have, lights, waterfalls, music. I mean, it is awesome. How many seats you want in this bad boy, but relaxation is what you're looking for, and that's what you get. Just simply put, the most relaxing thing you can do is, well, end the day inside a Royal Spa hot tub. The best hot tub on the planet. And the three locations, tell Bob I sent you. South side, that's State Road 37 and Epler. On the northeast side off of Pendleton Pike. And US 36 out in Avon. Anything you're looking for, Royal Spa hot tubs, gazebo, swim spas, and more. Online, royalspa.com. It's Royal Spa.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
Tim Donaghy, nice enough to join us. Is it possible right now that games are being fixed by refs?
I don't think the refs are going out and fixing the games. I think it's the league that's fixing the games because they're telling the referees what to call, and there's an enormous amount of money as you advance from the first round to the second round to the third round to the NBA Finals. I think it's the league office really who's at fault here, not the officials.
Dan Dockett, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
The Knights are so good defensively at forcing you out of your offensive comfort zone. Shoemaker, turnover. Here come the Knights again on the run. Barnett all the way to the rack. Layup, missed it. Deshaun Thomas to clean it up. Bucket and a foul. Thomas completes the three-point play. 30 points, 15 rebounds a game this year. The state's leading scorer, the state's second leading rebounder. A verbal commitment to Ohio State is Deshaun Thomas. He is a dandy.
Man, I love my man Rob Blackman right there on the call. That is Deshaun Thomas. He was a dandy, certainly in high school. Fort Wayne Lures, 2009 2A state championship. Lures over Brownstown Central, 67-49. Thomas, as a junior, would finish with 34 points and 15 rebounds and help the Knights win their second consecutive 2A title. He played college hoop 3 years at Ohio State before entering the NBA draft. 56th overall was his selection in 2013 by the Spurs. He's been back and forth between the NBA, Summer League, and playing overseas the past 5 years. Now, here's what you can do for us right now. You can check many of these future stars for a whole lot less money than you would pay to see them in college or professionally. We are talking the regional round of this year's IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament. All 4 classes continues. The regionals are old school as Hoosier hysteria gets, too. 2 games, 1 day to advance, and we're talking about iconic destinations, gymnasiums like Southport Fieldhouse, the Berry Bowl in Logansport, and the Bill Green Athletic Arena in Marion, all classic facilities, and should be fantastic coming up on Saturday. For your schedule online, ihsaa.org. Tickets at the gymnasium for a fantastic Saturday. Again, schedules and locations online, ihsaa.org today.
The Ride with JMV.
Ahoy, Ploy.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Welcome back. My thanks to Jeff Rabjohn's joining us. Podcastpigs.com. Mike Chappell next hour, CBS 4, Fox 59. Tomorrow's show is loaded. Jay Farrow is going to open up the Helium Comedy Club tomorrow night, which is downtown in Circle Center Mall. The former standout on SNL is going to join us on the show tomorrow. How about this? He is back in Indianapolis again. He was here back in October, if you remember. He was on the campus of Butler in October. He's going to be at the Fuel game this weekend. Our friend John O'Hurley, also known as Jay Peterman, going to be on the show tomorrow. ESPN college basketball analyst and friend of the show, Mark Adams, tomorrow. Bob Lovell, Don Fisher, and Charles Arbuckle with a little bit about the combine and maybe those first rounders that might be available for the Colts later on in round number 1. Charles is going to join us of Sirius Satellite Radio coming up on tomorrow's show too. That is loaded up and ready to go. You guys are great, by the way, too. You absolutely. Jason Hatfield said, yeah, you must be talking about Garcia's Pizza in a Pan. And because of my ample research, Garcia's Pizza in a Pan still exists in Champaign, Illinois. Garcia's Pizza in a Pan was awesome in Bloomington back in the day. If you remember what I'm talking about, they called it, and I never really understood it, but I loved it. I loved the pizza in the pan. I loved the location. I think the location now is a Buffalo's, right? With the greatness that is Buffalo's off of Indiana Avenue right near Kirkwood. But the Garcia's Pizza in the Pan, which is now Buffalo's, it had a great-looking setup. It kind of looked like a Brady Bunch staircase, and it had different levels. But Garcia's Pizza in the Pan was great. They still have one. It's in Champaign. Garcia's Pizza in the Pan. Some of the greatest all-time pizza ever. I don't know if it was just great pizza or if it happened at a time when we had really – no. It happened at a time when we had no responsibility and we just thought, hey, it's a great time, so this has got to be good, right?
Well, anything –
I don't know.
Anything John tastes good after sucking down a few of those Rolling Rocks.
Dude, I'm telling you, Garcia's Pizza in the Pan was so great. That is one thing. There are a lot of things that have come and gone, especially in Bloomington. But that was one thing that I really do miss. I love me some Garcia's Pizza in the Pan. So if you guys are heading over to watch IU in Champaign against Illinois, slide by the Garcia's location off of Mattis Avenue and tell us all about it. Seriously, things I want them to bring back, and they already did once. I want them to bring back Garcia's Pizza in the Pan in Bloomington. I want them to bring back mustards. I love mustards in Bloomington. I want them to bring back Tony the Big Wheel in Bloomington.
Yeah.
I want them to bring back Jeremiah Sweeney's in Bloomington.
Okay.
I want them to bring back the Porticos in Bloomington. I want them to bring back Hooligans in Bloomington.
You just admit it. You just want it to be 1989
just
again.
Just top of my head. It didn't have to be 1989. That's pretty awesome. Pacers big one later on tonight. 12 games remain, month of March. And this was the question I put out there, the Connecticut Water question of the day. If I set the number of wins at 4, would you take the over or the under? If I set the number of wins at 4. 12 games, and if you've seen the schedule, it is the proverbial gauntlet. It is. So I'm going to set the remaining 12 of this month, the total wins at 4. Would you take the over or the under? Right now, 79% take the over. I don't know. I'd have a hard time taking the over on that. Really hard time. My man Kuntz calling, or I should say calling, tweeting from Belton, Texas. JMV, I'm frustrated. I've been your friend for over a decade and never had a meal with you because of your weird phobia of eating in public.
Truth.
It's true. I do have a weird phobia.
Took you like 7 years to eat in front of me.
JMV, your thoughts on Alex Trebek? We learned yesterday because he made the announcement that Alex Trebek has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and that's awful. And you're right. Hashtag cancer sucks. Alex Trebek is iconic. Absolutely iconic. And most folks know him from, obviously the days of Jeopardy still, right? But, I mean, hell, I go back to High Rollers back in the day. But, yeah, he is iconic. And that does suck. It does. You know what, though? It was uplifting. The video message he put out there yesterday, because he wanted to control it, he wanted to make the announcement himself. I will say this. The announcement and the way that he presented it was uplifting. I was uplifted by it. But it does suck. Cal Finley writes this, not in Bloomington, but Pizza King is coming to Whiteland. I had heard that, Cal.
Why the hell is it already there?
Wait a minute. Not the Pizza King station, but Old School Pizza King. I love Old School Pizza King. I do. So we shall be there, Cal Finley. I love Old School Pizza King. Hey, speaking of Whiteland, I don't know why, because I guess this is in the same county. There's a new place, a bourbon place called The Mint. Brian Alvey, I think, is owner. He's a listener to the show down in Franklin. It's a bourbon joint we got to hit sometime. Called The Mint in Franklin. T. Shaw writes, Mustards was great. Yeah, I think now there's a Steak and Shake there. Mustards was out by the mall. Mustards was one of my all-time favorite places. Man, Leo Fu. Did you really go Leo Fu on me there, Dan Davis? I thought I was going to take everybody surprised by going Porticos. The Porticos back in the day was an upscale restaurant on Walnut that was upscale and also known to be haunted. True story, known to be haunted. Brian, Southside Pacers at 239-1070. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, John. Thanks for taking my call. Hope you're feeling better. Hey, do you think tonight when Giannis gets the ball on the post, if they'll double team? And then my second question is, with the snow coming in, do you think Angela Buckman considers this jacket off weather? Whack me!
I don't think she does, because that's a Chris Wright deal right there. The problem you have with trying to double team Antetokounmpo is, leaving these guys wide ass open and knocking down threes. I mean, maybe you have to, but you almost kind of, to me, you take the tact of he's going to end up getting his regardless because he's that good, and you just can't let other guys get theirs. I mean, you can't have Lopez go 3-point crazy. You can't have Chris Middleton go 3-point crazy. I can't stand Eric Bledsoe. Watch this guy put 30 in my eyeball tonight, probably. I mean, Brogdon, it's one of those pick your poison things where, maybe it's by the moment, but I think you expect Antetokounmpo to probably get his regardless. You just can't have other guys. To stay in the game up there, you can't have other guys going crazy on you. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Chris, you're going to join us coming up on the other side, too. A quick shout before I head to a break. One of my first radio jobs ever was at B97 in Bloomington, close to where I grew up. And I was a part of the Art and Gotti-led Artistic Media Partners. Art and Gotti, as I have been told, passed away late last night at the age of 74. So I want to send out my thoughts and certainly prayers and condolences and sympathies to the family of Art and Gotti. I mean, he was like the first owner of radio stations that I knew. I mean, I had a part-time job prior, but it was the first on-the-reg kind of real radio job that I had in Bloomington, working for Art and Gotti. And Art and Artistic Media Partners, they have stations in Bloomington, Lafayette, and South Bend. And I still know his son, Arthur and Gotti, very well. His wife, Amber, who is from Bloomfield, I know very well, and I know it's an incredibly difficult time right now. And I just wanted to send out my sympathies to the Angotti family for the loss of a guy certainly has been huge in media. And if you remember back in the mid-'80s, tried to bring Major League Baseball to Indianapolis with the Indianapolis Arrows. My thoughts and prayers to the family of Art and Gotti. Back with you next.
Vote on your favorite memory of the greatest moments in IHSAA basketball tournament history, and it could get you free stuff as well. Log on and vote now, 1070thefan.com.
Speed and power. Incredible accuracy. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. March 13th through 16th at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. Visit ncaa.com/tickets and secure your seats today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with Hero.Loan. Every year, we are proud to be part of the Bataan Memorial Death March. This is one of the best ways we can show our respect to the military. The other way was by creating Hero.Loan. We close VA loans in 14 days with lower interest rates, and at Hero.Loan, you will never pay for an appraisal. Maybe you've been thinking about a cash-out refinance or purchasing a new home. Get pre-approved in 5 minutes at Hero.Loan. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
I can't get rid of water like I used to. It's embarrassing, but I leak, and I can't get rid of this musty smell. Ew.
If your house could talk.
My foundation was strong, but the stress weighed on me, and I cracked a lot.
I'm literally a walking hazard. I'm not that old. When they told me I needed a lift here and there, well, I never.
No one ever goes down there. Who knew there was mold spreading?
Is your house trying to tell you something? Cracks in the drywall, uneven floors, musty smell. These can be signs of a sinking foundation, crawl space issues, or a leaky basement. Call Indiana Foundation Service for a free inspection at 888-222-0608. That's 888-222-0608. And take advantage of no payments and no interest until 2020. Some restrictions apply.
Now I love the way I look. You can't even tell I had any work done.
Chronic headaches, constant sinus infections, pain and pressure. The fatigue was overwhelming.
That's Karen. She suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She'd go to urgent care, see her doctor.
And we would do the same thing. Steroids, antibiotics, nasal sprays.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty.
Now my sinus cavities are open. You can breathe on a constant basis and not get sinus infections. I don't get headaches anymore. I don't take naps anymore. I'm like, oh, this is miraculous.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure? Is it difficult to breathe through your nose? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with the Indianapolis Sinus Center. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
You're a born leader. You're passionate and ambitious, and now you want more. At the University of Indianapolis, we're here to help you move your career forward. With full-time and part-time class options in the School of Business, you can get your master's degree in management, human resources, real estate, or data analytics. Or earn your MBA in just 1 year from one of the most established business programs in Indiana. You can do it, and we can help. Visit request.uindy.edu/business to learn more.
On cold, snowy days, you just want to stay in the comfort of your home until your furnace breaks. Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. For same-day repairs that will keep you warm and cozy, trust the highly trained technicians at 1 Hour. Call 855-1-HOUR today and get $51 off any repair. That's 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. License 8001-0668.
Hey, Johnny, for Universal Windows Direct, you sick and tired of the cold, drafty, cracked windows that you have right now and want to change it up a little bit? Anybody out there want to change it up? Seriously, go with the best. Go with my man Justin in Universal Windows Direct, too, with the Super Spacer technology. And you will clearly know, especially when it gets really cold or in the summertime when it gets really hot. And this is what I noticed in my living room with the new windows is that, I mean, seriously, in the summertime, the cold air stays in, warm air stays out, saves you money. And the same is vice versa in the wintertime. Warm air in, cold air out. And you notice that all of a sudden you don't have to keep your thermostat as high as you used to. The Super Spacer technology on these windows is spectacular, and they look great from the outside. And right now, for every 2 that you buy, check that. How about this? For every window you buy, you get the next window free with no limits and 0% financing for 36 months. Now, some restrictions do apply. Plus, they back this up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and 30 years the next homeowner. So call and schedule your free in-home estimate today. 317-547-2600 or online universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows. Hey, it's JMV, and if you like great comedy like I do, we've got great news for you. Helium Comedy Club is set to open their newest location downtown, and it all kicks off March the 8th for the grand opening with Jay Farrow from Saturday Night Live, followed by Steve Ranazizi from The League and Kyle Kinane from Drunk History. Helium Comedy Club is downtown at Georgia and Meridian next to Burger Study in the Circle Center Mall. For more info and for upcoming shows or tickets, visit heliumcomedy.com. That's heliumcomedy.com. Helium Comedy Club. Eat, drink, and be entertained.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, get up to $120 on select Ford tire purchase and installation. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
I'm John. Thank you for joining us. Tony's over there. Somebody sent me this, and I think I saw this a couple of weeks ago. Do you know Insane Clown Posse? Do you know who that is? That's not this. Yeah. This is, I guess the reason why I bring it up, Insane Clown Posse.
No, you're playing
They're from Detroit.
Shout out to Whiteland for getting their first Pizza King.
Did you happen to see, somebody sent me this earlier today. Apparently, Insane Clown Posse, and they have followers called Juggalos, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
They are doing some kind of get-together, some kind of festival down near where I grew up this summer. You know what I'm talking about? It's normally where they have the Harley Davidson, the Boogie. It's actually, you know our friend Brad Clapper? The Juggalo convention is going to be literally 2 miles away from our man Clapper's house. Seriously. It is right there in Judah along the Lawrence-Monroe County line. I had that. Somebody had sent me via Twitter a little bit earlier. That might be the nastiest and messiest get-together in human history right there, from what I've heard. I don't know if they have enough cops down there. Do they have enough cops down there?
No, they sure don't. You guys are hoes.
What they do for the boogie down there is the cops kind of stand outside and basically let whatever happens on the inside happen within reason, right? Within reason.
Well, even that's up for debate.
But yeah, it's an insane clown posse. That's something. Yeah. Coming to Lawrence County, everybody. Springville, hello. Jeremy writes this, Tony. Let's think about this before we hit a break. JMV, I'm doing a job in Westfield. I just saw a kid Talib.
Oh, whoa. Flighttracker.com.
A kid Talib. Looks like the culture is finally going to get some nasty. All right. Jeremy has 3 tweets, 1 follower, is following 1, and no followers. Do we believe that Jeremy really just saw a kid Talib in Westfield? What do you think?
No.
He said, I'm doing a job at Pro X in Westfield. I just saw a kid Talib.
No.
That's what we just said. What's Pro X in Westfield?
No clue.
See if we can get that on. Pro X in Westfield. It's from Jeremy. We'll get back to that. Mike Chaffel on the other side in your calls if you're on hold as well. How about number 7, 239-1070? You want to do some Thomas Rhett?
Sure.
Thomas Rhett, concert, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. If you love country and you love a lot of hot chicks, you'll love this. Number 7 is going to go see Thomas Rhett at 239-1070. Back with you next.
Big names.
Andrew Luck.
So, AJ.
Pacers president Kevin Pritchard.
Talking to Chris Ballard. Big interviews.
How's the shoulder feeling?
It feels awesome. Robert Wall. I don't think there's a bad contract in baseball.
What are your issues? What are the problems? What are some of the solutions you have?
Big news.
Oladipo out indefinitely.
It sucks. If they're talking about it.
The focus has been not on what we don't have, what we do have.
We're talking about it. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Your home for Indy sports. Here's what's happening with The Fan.
March is almost here. Stay tuned to The Fan and check out the events tab to see where our shows will be during the madness that is March. Looking for concert tickets, or how about tickets to local sporting events, or just chances to win free stuff? Check out the contest tab at 1070thefan.com. And follow The Fan on social media. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like and follow The Fan for updates on all things Indy Sports Center.
For more info, click on IndySportsCenter.com.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back at my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Hey, John here for Forum Credit Union. My friends Trevor and Kevin, they've got you covered. Here's what I love about Forum Credit Union. I love the fact that they're always working for me. And you'll love the fact that they're always working for you. And you're going to say, all right, well, how are they working? They're working to help save you money. They're working in ways that, well, honestly, you probably didn't even think about yourself. I mean, really great ways, especially knowing now how we move around and how we pay for things, compared to how we used to. I'll give you a great example here. They have something called the Common Sense account. This account lets you determine how many, or how much in this case, how much change to save with every debit card transaction. So tell me, how often do you utilize your debit card? basically every purchase. Seriously, me too. It is easy and a great way to save. So set your savings amount and watch your money grow in this high-rate savings account. Stop by any branch location today. They will tell you all about it and all the different ways that Trevor and Kevin help you save. That's why they're the best. Forum Credit Union, or log on right now for everything I just talked about and then some. Online, forumcu.com right now.
Hey, business owners. It's Switch and Save Days at Comcast Business. Right now, when you switch to the nation's largest gig speed network, you save on fast, reliable internet. Get started with 25 megabit internet and voice for $59.90 per month for a 2-year agreement when you sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. That's $650 off our regular yearly price. Just one more way we take your business beyond. There's never been a better time to switch to Comcast Business. But hurry, Switch and Save Days ends April 5th. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 4/5/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Country music superstar Thomas Rhett is turning up the heat. Very Hot Summer Tour 2019. Friday, June 21st, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Thomas Rhett with special guests Dustin Lynch, Russell Dickerson, and Rhett Akins. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Islanders in the Caribbean like to say that if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, and that's great advice for the stock market, too. It's easy to get upset when the market falls, but what we have to remember is that this too shall pass. Now, that's easy to say, but sometimes it can feel hard to do. So in times like these, when stock prices are swinging wildly one day to the next, making you worry that your financial future might be at risk, here's the advice you need. Don't feel that you have to go it alone. I invite you to talk with one of my experienced financial planners at Edelman Financial Engines. Let's take a look at your investments and see if they're doing what you need and expect. We'll either reassure you that you're doing what you should be doing, or we'll give you recommendations to help you get the peace of mind you need so you can, well, wait for the sun to shine once again. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis. Butler wraps up the regular season at Providence. Saturday morning at 11:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, a week from Saturday, we're going to do another JMV takeover down the hall at B105.7 in honor of Selection Sunday weekend, Tony. So what I'm going to do...
Best one-hit wonder?
Well, that's going to be a category or a region. I am going to seed songs in different regions. Okay. Pop, hair band, one-hit wonder.
What are your top 4 seeds?
Well, I think in the one-hit wonder category, I think that April Wine would probably be...
Oh, Tony, it's definitely Patrick Swayze.
1, 2,
like the wind.
1, 2, or 3 right there. Yeah.
She's like the wind.
Baltimore, Tarzan Boy, probably be a high seed in the one-hit wonder category. If there were a category for greatest one-hit wonder bands from Canada, April Wine's on top of the list.
Yeah.
That's a week from Saturday. I don't know how long it's going to be. They normally give me 3 hours, and they said, you know what? We don't have to voice track, so just go as long as you want. So another JMV takeover on B105.7 is coming at you. It's a Selection Sunday weekend special for you for their all-ladies weekend. And it is going to be awesome. JMV, Coach Cobb tells me this. Pro X is a baseball, football training facility at Grand Park. Seth Lampton says, well, Talib is not even a free agent. Thank you. Classic. That's Jeremy Cass just tweeted me and said he saw Aqib Talib at Pro X in Westfield. So I believe Jeremy Cass. Jay Ryan writes this. Did I hear you mention the Bean Blossom Boogie? Have you ever attended? I have not. I am not a Harley guy. I once, however, Jay Ryan, was tempted because I found out that the headlining weekend band was Buck Cherry.
Oh!
Yeah.
Crazy.
And as I've told you before, a Final Four of years ago, I think this goes all the way back to 2006. What was there a Final Four in 2006, right? Was that the
yes,
tornado?
That was
the tornado year?
Yep.
Buck Cherry was a headliner inside a tent down right next to Max and Irma's down there. Ike and Jonesy's, right next to Ike and Jonesy's. And I got on their tour bus, and there was a lot of weirdness happening on the old tour bus.
Was it snowing in there?
I think they were getting all lit up again in there. Let me tell you this. There's nothing that stuck out more as me on the Buck Cherry tour bus between sets. It was almost like I didn't belong. But yeah, that was the only time. I have never been. I've often driven down that road, though, and it's interesting. JMV, I remember hearing the Insane Clown Posse deal is called The Gathering, if that's not scary enough in itself, Bobby. That's what I've heard, man. JMV, just say Jerry Seinfeld on Mass Ave. Does that mean that they're opening I just saw, that mean they're opening a Bojangles? No, apparently everybody around here wants a Shake Shack instead. Bojangles. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. We're getting on the fringe of a little free agency right now. So Stephen Holder and I talked. Mike Chappell joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline a little bit earlier this week. And we think, and he mentioned this, they're going to be active, but not at all, again, high dollar active as we've grown accustomed to. You agree with that?
Yeah, and we've talked about this. For people to think they've not been active in free agency, they're wrong. I went back and looked. He signed like 16 or 18 players the last 2 years, and most of them in the couple of weeks after free agency started. It's just they've not had that high dollar in. The biggest ones have been Jonathan Hankins, which was basically a 1-year deal and they walked away, and Jabal Sherrod. Even last year, Danico Autry and Eric Ebron, $6 million guaranteed each. That's not that's not a lot on this market. So. He's been active, but he's not made that splash. And Stephen and I have talked, and maybe Ballard changes up and does something, but I until he shows otherwise, I trust what he's done, and I trust what he's said, and I just don't think they make that big splash in the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. It would be so out of the ordinary, and as much as I've kind of preached here, as far as what I feel are concerns that need to be addressed, I mean, it's still a pipe dream for a lot of this.
The problem is we both, and this goes back to last year, they need help at wide receiver. I mean, top-end help at wide receiver. And I think even, the Colts will admit that. Okay, let's take Antonio Brown out of the mix. Look at who's out there. Pierre Garçon is going to be out there. Is that what you want? I like Terrell Williams. I've talked to some Colts about it, and they like him. I mean, but at $12 million a year, is that what you want to pay a guy that's been up and down and sort of been lost in the numbers with the Chargers? In some positions, if you want that guy where it's not a strong market for that position, you're going to pay out the nose for it. But all it takes is one or two teams to get involved, and then it drives the price up. And these guys, unless they're really, really in love with the guy, they're not going to overbid. They're not going to bid, let alone overbid for a player. And that's where you get the Ebrons and the Nico Autry's, who were two great pickups last year. As much as I'd like to see him, hey, if I could swing a trade for D Ford, what is he, 28? It would cost you a minimum $15 a year to get him, with a new deal. I'd give up a third-round pick for that. I just would. I'd rather have a proven player than a third-round pick. I just would, even though that's high-end and what it would cost. But
I would agree with that, yeah.
I just don't know that these guys are going to deviate. I think we're going to, when this is all over in the dust clears, I think we're going to see 3 or 4 players. I don't know if I go 5 or not. 3 or 4 players with those mid-level deals again. That's just, and we can throw darts on who they may be, but to get the guy, Landon Collins, I'd love to see him here. And the thing is, what drives fans crazy, and some of us in the media, is they've got the money to sign. I saw Stephen Holder's article. They could sign 4 Andrew Lucks with $100 million. Now, it would strain Jim Irsay to pay the upfront money, obviously. But what drives people crazy is they've got the money to do whatever they want to do. And at some point, you've got to spend the money. But people need to remember they are budgeting ahead with Costanzo next year. I might get him done this year just because I've got the cap space and all of that. But, T.Y. Hilton's going to come up. Ryan Kelly. People like that you're going to have to re-sign. And if you re-sign those guys, it's for big bucks. Andrew Luck in, 3 years, I guess it is. So it drives people. It drives people crazy, the media crazy locally in some facets, to where everyone else is jumping in the pool, and the culture just kind of standing there watching. But barring him really, really liking a guy, D4, Justin Houston's probably, was he 30-ish? I don't know about that, but I would do one of those guys, and I wouldn't worry too much about it, but I just don't know that that's the way we're going to see it happen.
Well, I don't see them trading a pick. You know what I mean? I mean, like Justin Houston available to sign, again, depending upon the price tag is one thing, but I can't imagine they're going to part with picks because they feel that is such a value. And the other thing that Frank Wright kept telling me last Wednesday, and I know told everybody else there, they have such a belief in this offensive system. They just don't feel at the wide receiver position as we feel of the wide receiver position, Mike.
I understand that, it worked last year. It really did. When you've got 13 guys catching touchdown passes and Luck throwing 39 to that collection, when you've got one top-end guy, T.Y. Hilton, and, Eric Ebron hadn't done anything close to that, I would argue with Frank, and I don't think you would argue too hard back, that they need another solid receiver. And then if you want to start scheming your slot guys and all this and work in Nyheim Hines, that's fine. But I've always believed, almost to a fault, that when you scheme to get a pass rush and when you scheme to get guys open, it's because you don't have guys who can do it on their own. And even Frank told us that, you need that guy who on 3rd and 7 can beat his guy. Let's go back to the Houston game, the overtime game, and the 4th and whatever it was, 4th and 5, 4th and 7, that led to the loss. That was, first it was a bad throw by Luck, but the receiver didn't get open. Was it? I'm trying to think, was it Chester Rogers? I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was. So you need guys who can win those one-on-ones and get over the top. They really don't have an over-the-top guy. Maybe Deion Kane, but I'm not going into this season banking on Deion Kane being a number 2. I can't do it. So, but we'll see. I keep going back to I trust what Chris Ballard has said. I don't think he's into that much blowing smoke. As he said, I'm not going to blow smoke up you all just to tell you we're a great team, we're a good team and all that. But until he shows me that he's going to pay $20-30 million guaranteed and $60 million on a contract for somebody, I'm not going to believe it. But again, on the draft pick, I would rather have a proven 28-year-old player, even if it's costing me $15 million, if that's what the position demands, than a third-round pick where you like the guy, you think he's going to be a good player, but you don't know. Give me the proven 28-year-old all the time.
What are you thinking about? If they were going to make a trade right now, if we're not talking about just free agency or utilizing the draft, I mean, did the whole D Ford thing, did that interest you a great deal?
It did. Again, just because, it's a position of need without question. He's a young player. He's, and again, I don't get into it with, you're thinking long term. How long is he going to, how long can he play? In my mind, long term in the NFL is like 4 years. If I can get a player for 4 years, then I've really hit the jackpot. Because you just don't know how things change. Players move on. So if I can invest in a 28-year-old for 4 years and get 4 solid years out of him, and what that's done, that's still complementing your draft class because you're still going to build on the draft. You just are. But I just think to get that difference maker, you're either going to get lucky in the draft, getting one at 26, which, maybe you can, or, you're really going to get lucky if you find another Darius Leonard at what was he, 36, and now you're going to be picking 34, whatever it is. To think you're going to get Robert Mathis in the 5th round, you're delusional. That just doesn't happen that often. So to get the playmakers that they lack and they need, it's going to take getting lucky or getting bold, and they're going to have to really be sold on a guy to get bold and do it, because I think Chris Ballard believes, and history has shown, that more times than not, you're not getting your money's worth on a free agent market. You're just not.
Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Do you think we're going to go down the path in similarity with Pierre Desir as what we saw in Rashawn Melvin this time last year?
Yeah, I think Desir is going to get a better market, which won't take much, because I think Rashawn Melvin was stunned that he didn't get more than he got. What was it, 1 year? And I can't remember what it was. Was it $5 or $6 million? He didn't get 9. I think Moncrief got 9. I think Desir is going to, again, I don't think the market's great at corner. I don't think it's real deep. I think he's going to get something decent. But anytime, by and large, when you let a player test the market, you're basically saying goodbye to him. Very seldom does a guy come back and give you the chance to either match it or say, I didn't get what I wanted. They're normally gone. But from talking to Ballard last week, I got the impression, as much as he wants some of these guys back, he's not going to lose a lot of sleep if they don't come back. And as much as he likes Clayton Gathers, they'll move on. If it doesn't have, I think it gets done because it makes sense. And as much as they would like to have Pierre Desir back, I just got the impression that if they move on, they'll find somebody else. Whether it's Kenny Moore stepping up more or Quincy Wilson, maybe Nate Harrison, recovers from an uneven year. So I just don't think they look at any of these guys, other than the one they've already got done by now, the 4 guys by now. If they lose them, they're going to be, okay, we'd like to have him back. They're not, we'll move on.
It's always weird. I mean, it's all preaching about keeping your own until it comes to that, and then it's not so much about keeping your own any longer, is it, Mike?
Well, it's about the price. It's about the price it's going to take. And again, they do. I do believe that they sit down and somehow with their analytics or whatever, they put a value on a guy. Now, Dante Moncrief, I don't believe they made any attempt to re-sign at all for a lot of reasons last year. Melvin, I thought they pretty much gave Melvin an offer about what he got from the Raiders. So, but again, they've got they've got whatever it is on Clayton Gathers. They've got a value on it, whether it's a 2-year, 3-year deal, I don't know, whatever it would be. And I can't imagine that they would not at least make an offer to Gathers. I still think that gets done. I just do. But I think you make an offer on him to the year this year. I don't think you do. I got the impression it was Desir, or it was Desir and someone else. Maybe it was Inman, where he said, "No, we're going to let those guys go in the market," which surprised me. Again, I think Inman is a no-brainer. You bring him back because it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. He'll want decent money, but not over-the-top money. But some of these guys, you're just going to let them go because they're not worth what they think they're worth. And Ballard has told us before, he has enough confidence in his personnel staff that they think they can replace people who leave, and so far they've been able to do that in 2 years.
I know we started out talking about Landon Collins. Do you think that they'll make some legitimate run at Landon Collins? And what Visualize Landon Collins on this team. I guess subtract the fact that he missed 4 games a year ago. Prior to that, he'd been healthy his entire career. But how would you view him added to that secondary as far as that's concerned, if, again, they're going to take a chance and maybe try to secure him through free agency?
Again, I saw a story out in the East Coast, and they were projecting like a 5-year, $60 million deal with $20 million guaranteed.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And this is going to be a guy. I know he and Hooker are they're the different safeties. You know, Hooker's a classic free safety, playing center field and doing what he does. And Collins he's sort of what Clayton Gathers has done, where he's a strong safety, can play at the line like a linebacker, sure tackler, and they say that the Giants let him go because he's not great in coverage. Okay. Well, and that's one of the reasons you want to pay that much money for a guy who is the box safety. But I think he and Hooker would be a great combination. It's just, is that what you want to pay? I would, because I got the money. I mean, and first of all, it's not my money. So, but a couple guys I'd like to see him go after is D Ford, which I don't think they will, and Collins, which you at least have to have the internal discussions about. You know, would he fit? Of course he would. He's exactly what you want. Everything you hear about him, about the leadership. This is the guy that called out their other first-round pick when was it Eric Apple wasn't doing much, and he called him a cancer in the locker room.
Yeah, Eli Apple with the Giants. Yeah,
Eli Apple.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a guy that's everything you want in a player from what we've seen from afar, and he's been pretty good on the field. So can you swallow that much money if that's what it would cost? I don't know. Again, they've got the money, and I think if it was any other GM, maybe Polian wouldn't, Grigson probably would. I think that they would go heavy after 2 or 3 of these guys, knowing Jim Irsay would say, okay, let's do it, because Jim Irsay's always been willing to overpay, whether it's to keep his own, whether it's to get somebody else's. And again, too many times it's not worked. And I think that's what Chris Ballard sees, is there's better ways, or I guess different ways of getting it done, and he's comfortable doing that. Now, in my mind, one of the reasons they've not really gone big time in free agency the last 2 years is I don't think they believe the roster was close enough to make a difference. Why bring in a guy 2 years ago when you're not close at all, and you've got a quarterback issue? And then this past year, even if luck comes back the way he did, I think they still thought they were a year away. So now it makes sense, as long as you don't do the all-in like they did after, what was it, 2015 off season, after the AFC title game when they thought we were a step away. I don't think they'll ever fall into that trap again. But I do see the wisdom in being prudent. At the same time, when you've got that kind of cap space, and this team is a lot closer than what it was, I wouldn't be a bit hesitant in my mind with Jim Irsay's money to strike a player and then try to find the other, the supporting cast, 3 or 4 players later on. But Steven and I really are kind of agree. I don't think it happens because I trust what Chris Ballard's done, and I don't think he's going to deviate from that.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. I asked this question earlier this week. I think you answered it on Twitter as well. And I just hypothetically, I thought, all right, maybe not this way, but just hypothetically, the teams within the AFC South get better. And I think you can presume that Tennessee is going to get better. I think you can presume the Texans are going to get better, regardless of either add maybe a Brown or a Bell. I think if Foles ends up in Jacksonville, I think you can presume they're going to get better. I think everybody around here presumes, Mike, that the Colts are going to be better. Might this be the best season in 2019 that we have ever seen the AFC South, going back to what you called in 2007, where the bottom of the barrel was 8-8, being Houston that year, right, and 3 of the 4 made the postseason?
Oh, I think so. And again, I think the only way that doesn't happen is if Jacksonville stays Jacksonville, and even Foles can't fix what's a dysfunctional organization. Let's take in that on the mix. There's no reason to think that the other 3 teams aren't going to be at that 8-8 and then move up from that. I still want to see Mariota doing it. We're getting into that time in Tennessee where Mariota is sort of, he's not Jake Locker, but is he the guy? And if he's not, then they're in trouble. But Houston, the Colts, they've got the young quarterback. They've got the top end receiver. The Colts defense isn't where Houston's is yet, but it's getting there. So I like the AFC South. I really do. I bought into Jacksonville once, and I won't do it again. And I'm not sure if Foles was good enough to calm what is obviously a broken locker room. But I like the AFC South a lot.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to me. It just seems like I think Tennessee's in for some kind of big splash this offseason, trying to do something to upgrade that thing.
I mean, they're one of them are they still in the Antonio Brown, or did he pull out? I can't remember what the latest is on that, but that's supposed to be done by tomorrow.
That's what they say, yeah. I don't know if that is more just pulling the chain of the national reporters to try to make this sound better, or if that's legit. You know, Mike?
Well, it's funny. I ran into Jim Wyatt, a longtime Titans guy, at the Combine when this stuff broke. I looked at him and just patted him on the back. I said, good luck. So, because it just doesn't stop. And, so we'll see where that goes. But, Antonio Brown, he's such a great talent. But the more he talks, you're thinking, is this guy really invested in what's moving forward? If you're going to pay that guy that kind of money, again, I'd give up the third-round pick in a heartbeat for Antonio Brown. I'm not even paying $15 million a year. But boy, oh boy, with all the baggage that's there, and it's just not been recent. This goes back a while. I would have a trouble doing that. But if he goes to Tennessee, it's funny. Who was it? Was it Larry Fitzgerald that either was on somebody's show and he talked about Antonio Brown? He said, you need to realize how good you've got it in Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger. And I remember when Marvin Harrison was going to be a free agent back in, I don't know what year it was, 2004, 2005, and he was going to re-sign here, go out there, and we asked him once, he said, hey, the football's brown everywhere. I said, really? You'd really rather have somebody like, in Buffalo now, you really want the Buffalo quarterback if you're Antonio Brown throwing to you? I can think of 3 or 4 places that Antonio Brown will go bonkers because he's got a rum-dum quarterback throwing to him. So sometimes be careful what you wish for when you're a player that really likes your numbers. And the worst thing that can happen is for Antonio Brown to go somewhere whose quarterback isn't very good.
I keep defending him by saying that he's only acting crazy so he can get the best situation for himself here. I think he's
gone over the top.
He's gone completely over the top. Yeah, I think
this has gone on for longer than just this past year. And then he's got all these off-field issues. So
my argument's flimsy. Yeah, it is.
Well, when you see that one where he's dyed his mustache, walrus blonde or whatever it is, and if it doesn't say buyer beware, I mean, if somebody signs and gets in a big contract and it doesn't work, you want to say, and you weren't paying attention, why? So, hey, a great talent still in the middle of his prime, but I would just have a hard time investing time and money and what it would take to get him. I'd be afraid.
Somebody just tweeted me that a kid Talib is at Pro X up in Westfield.
I hope he's there. Well, what is Pro X? Is that
it is. Place? It is. Greg from Carmel just sent me something that said it's a sports training facility, and it kind of jogged my memory because it is owned by Joe Thatcher, who was a longtime Major League pitcher. He was on the show. We just talked about it maybe 6 months ago, and I had forgotten about that. But yeah, it's Pro X.
Well, I tell you, we've had a lot of guys. I remember when Ralph Reef and his folks at St. Vincent's.
Yeah,
they've always worked with head players in town and all this. So people pop in here, and I think of all the players I can think of, like Pete Talib wouldn't be one that I would attach to the Colts at all. I think he's got to be in town visiting, working out, whatever.
Well, I don't even know if he's I haven't even looked to see if he's a free agent or not. So I don't even know. So
yeah.
Anyway,
it gives you guys something to talk about for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I appreciate the heads up. I want to know when these guys are in town, Mike. I mean, we all want to know, don't we?
When I go out in a few minutes, and if I see somebody roaming the streets of Beach Grove, I'll text you. How about that?
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right.
So Mike Chappell, CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group Hotline. Quick break. We'll come back 15 minutes away from your chance. Hammer's House Party. It's going to be a good one. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. We'll set you up a ticket for that, and a big show tomorrow. A big game tonight. 12 month of March games beginning tonight. It is going to be tough to navigate for the Pacers. Milwaukee this evening. We'll talk about it next.
Let's face it, Dan, guys avoid hospitals like the plague. And I get it. But according to our friends at Franciscan Health, colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death, and it's treatable. That's why I decided, the heck with putting it off. I got my colonoscopy.
And I was right behind you, no pun intended. Look, guys, if you're over 50, suck it up and get it done. It's a piece of cake.
Seriously, the folks at Franciscan Health couldn't be better. You go in, you get the procedure, and when you're done, you get the results right away.
And if all goes well, it could be 10 years before you have to go again and get another. And with Madness games on, you got a great excuse to sit around and watch basketball for a day.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime.
So get the procedure for you, your wife, and your kids.
Go to franciscanhealth.org/over50 to learn the facts. That's franciscanhealth.org/over50.
Then call 833-439-3464 to schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. And tell them Dan and Big Joe told you to call.
You've worked hard. You're passionate, curious, and dedicated, and you're ready for more. At the University of Indianapolis, we're here to help you move forward to advance the career of your dreams. With over 40 graduate programs offered in flexible, traditional, and online formats, you can break through and become more. Are you ready to move forward? You can do it, and the University of Indianapolis can help. Visit request.und.edu/graduate to learn more.
John for ATI. ATI. It works. No, wait a minute. What am I doing? I'm sorry.
PAI.
See, this is why you're mad at me, isn't it? This is why you're frustrated with me?
This is the frustration.
Am I not doing ATI?
PAI.
Darn it. They're initials, man. I was in the ballpark. Don't be so frustrated. Hey, it's John for PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com. And I was just actually looking at my Twitter account, and Rick DeMulling, who played here back in the day with the Colts, is going through the process right now. We had a conversation about it going back a couple of months, and he thought, well, this is something I would like to do. And I said, go ahead and do it. It does work. And I said, you see it right here. It has been working on my dome. It will work on your dome. Multi-unit hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE at PAI. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com and Darren Andrews for the private evaluation and consultation about what to expect and how you're going to get your real growing hair again. It's legit, too. You can check out the commercials all the time you see on TV, or you can see the billboard on 465 on the north side, and it shows you all you need to know about my dome coverage. It will help you as well. Your real growing hair again with PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. It's always our goal to make lives better for the good people of Indianapolis. That includes children in need. That's why we'll donate $50 to Riley Hospital for Children for every new water heater we install. Call today and bring comfort to your home and to our kids.
Go with the flow, the local pros. Call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. Offer valid February 1st through March 31st. License CP 101-00018.
Hey, it's JMV, and if you like great comedy like I do, we've got great news for you. Helium Comedy Club is set to open their newest location downtown, and it all kicks off March the 8th for the grand opening with Jay Farrow from Saturday Night Live, followed by Steve Ranazizi from The League and Kyle Kinane from Drunk History. Helium Comedy Club is downtown at Georgia and Meridian next to Burger Study in the Circle Center Mall. For more info and for upcoming shows or tickets, visit heliumcomedy.com. That's heliumcomedy.com. Helium Comedy Club. Eat, drink, and be entertained.
At a dinner party, I heard a guy say, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Dimitri Martin.
And I just wanted to smack him in the face, you know?
Wandering Mind Tour.
And he'd be like, what the hell did you do that for? You tell me.
This Friday night, 8 p.m., Egyptian Room at Old National Center. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Old National Center box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
That's your belief, man. That's your thing. I don't know.
Dimitri Martin, part of the Cricket Wireless Concert Series.
And now, a redneck chicken singing about wings, etc.
Well, if you're looking for a place to have an ice cold beer and feed your face with the best dang jumbo chicken wings they are, then why not get your big old feathered butt up off the couch and haul it down to a restaurant called Wings, etc. Oh, Wings, etc. You'll like the way they fry and grill. Oh, Wings, etc. If you don't go, then who the hell will?
Wings Etc. founder Jim Weaver is at it again. Now through March 13th, he's selling wings for just 79 cents, including boneless wings, dine-in only, and our famous ice-cold domestic schooners are on sale too. 79-cent wings in our famous domestic schooner special now through March 13th, only at Wings Etc.
Oh, Wings Etc. Gotta get some.
Gotta stop. Chicken time.
Wings Etc. Delicious sports bar food.
Wings Etc. in Avon, Canby, Crawfordsville, Franklin, Greenfield, Kokomo, Noblesville, Peru, Plainfield, and in Indianapolis on Shadeland and Emerson and East Thompson Road.
Let Sport Clips haircuts upgrade your day. During the month of March, get $5 off the double MVP experience via text message when you check in online or with the Sport Clips app. That means after your fresh cut, you'll get double the massaging shampoo and legendary hot steam towel. Then we'll give you $5 off. It's a win-win. The Sport Clips app. Download, check in, and cut the wait. Mobile opt-in required to receive discount code. Offer expires 3/31/19. See terms at sportclips.com/thankyou.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
It's interesting. If you were going to ask me earlier in the year, who would be down to stretch for a Big Ten title and who would be down to stretch trying to get in the NCAA, Purdue or Indiana? I think a lot of you, certainly after the Crossroads Classic, would have said, well, are you crazy? There's no way in hell Indiana's going to be that team. No way in hell is it going to be Purdue. No way in hell is it not going to be Indiana. Matt Painter's the coach of the year in the league.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Mike Chappell, CBS 4 Fox 59 podcast, 1070thefan.com. Jeff RabJohnsPigs.com earlier, IU Illinois tonight. I saw, according to a UCLA Bruins website, UCLA reportedly has interest in Matt Painter. Good for Matt. Probably going to get some more money on that. That's true at all. Yeah, I saw this. Marcus sent me this. Jason La Canfora is the one that had the Colts being in strong pursuit of Tyrell Williams. I think that was maybe yesterday, but we'll see where that goes as far as how much money he's going to cost. The only two guys I've really seen the Colts reportedly having interest in is Tyrell Williams and Landon Collins. And, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be a national football reporter to come up with that. I mean, I think you could just guess. It's from Mitch Deckard. I listen every day and enjoy all 1070 hosts. I wanted to say Tony D was very good yesterday. Mitch Deckard right there for you.
Thanks, Mitch.
Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. JMV, did you hear about Tom Seaver? I did. The Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, who was obviously a member World Series champion in '69 with the Miracle Mets, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, threw a no-hitter for the Reds back in '78. Reds Hall of Famer. He was inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, I think, 1992. He has been diagnosed with dementia, and that sucks. That sucks. The Reds were – I'm trying to think about the years with the Reds. I think I saw him pitch. I swear to you, I saw him pitch when he was with the Reds against his old team, the Mets, and Craig Swan back in the late 70s. Yeah, I don't know if I have nailed that down or if I just dreamt that or not. But I thought that was the matchup. No-hitter for the Reds was against the Cardinals in 1978. That was his only no-hitter. 75-46 in Cincinnati. Let's see. Pitching staff 79. The Reds won the West Division, and again the strike shortened season of 81 when the Reds had the best record in Major League Baseball and got completely screwed out of their mind. If you remember that. Tom Seaver has dementia, and that's terrible. JMV, I hear Billy Donovan's wife is looking for houses in Bloomington. No, I thought that was a horse ranch.
Horse ranch.
Classic.
Yeah, I just saw her.
Horse ranches in Bloomington. Andy Stayer writes this: when you don't draft well, then you have no one to re-sign, which means you have a ton of cap space. Classic. From Josh, I wish I had $1 for every Southern Indiana girl who screams, quote, "This is my song," when Buck Cherry Crazy You Know What comes on. Why is that, Tony? Why does every Southern Indiana girl scream, "This is my song," when Buck Cherry's Crazy Blank comes on? Why is that?
I'm sure they do it with that Gretchen Wilson song. It's like, I'm a redneck woman and I ain't no high-class bra.
I thought Crazy Bee was like one of the top 5 of all time in strip joints, isn't it?
Yeah.
Walking out to?
I saw the photo earlier and I thought of you. I'll just have to find it.
Ted Bishop's having conversations here with the legends down in Franklin to do our golf outing, which is awesome, by the way, too. I love Ted Bishop, and I love the legends, and I love Franklin. But he also dropped this. When I was dropping old school Bloomington restaurants, he had to drop, and I believe there used to be just the world's greatest lunch buffet here. Lung Chung in Bloomington, everybody. Thank you. Lung Chung. Holy crap. That was awesome.
Oh.
What? What am I doing? What? I didn't see it.
I'll refresh it.
What's this?
Click on this.
I don't know about it. Should I read it?
Sure.
Every Midwestern suburb has a bar named Scoreboards where everyone who graduated with looks like this now. Classic.
It's my song. This is my song.
Classic. There's a lot of truth to that, though, to be honest with you. A lot of truth to it.
Bedazzled jeans.
JMV, do you think there's any truth to the fact that the Colts are going to go after Landon Collins? I do think they have interest. I just don't know if they're going to mess with a skyrocketing price tag at all. That's the part that I doubt. But yeah, I mean, interest. I think you would have it. Why wouldn't they have interest? It's from Chris. JMV, did you not mention Dagwoods? Dagwoods is still there, right? I love Dagwoods. After a little hoopage every Sunday, we would go to Dagwoods and get the old turkey and roast beef and Colby, and that thing was awesome, baby. I love Dagwoods. And then I'd wait on it, Tony. I'd go downstairs at Dagwoods on Indiana and wait on it by playing a cocktail table version of Donkey Kong, brother. Oh, it was just good times. Steve says Taco John's another Bloomington favorite, popping back up in Lebanon. I think Yogi's needs to come back, too. Taco John's had Taco Tuesdays, which was pretty damn awesome. Thank you. JMV, I heard you earlier. You're right. There is a original Pizza King going in Whiteland. That's a big deal. It is true that right there. That's a tremendous deal. All right, quick one. We'll come back for a final time. We got a big show tomorrow. Jay Farrow is going to join us on the show tomorrow. Jay Peterman, whose real name is John O'Hurley, the actor, the comedian. He was awesome with us, if you remember, back in October. Jay Peterman is back on the show. John O'Hurley coming up tomorrow. Mark Adams of ESPN.com. We'll talk about a lot of, certainly the mid-majors. We got Valpo and Indiana State tonight at 7 over at Arch Madness in St. Louis. Our friend Dylan Windler from Perry Meridian, his team, Belmont, plays as the 1 seed in the OVC. They'll start play coming up tomorrow night in Evansville. We'll talk about that and a lot more with Mark Adams tomorrow. Bob Lovell talks regional play with us on the high school level tomorrow. And Charles Arbuckle, first-round draft possibilities at the end of round number 1, i.e., who the Colts might hard target. Any edge rushers that still remain. Maybe you'll find somebody out of the secondary in that neighborhood at the end of the first round. Charles Arbuckle joins us from Sirius Satellite and college football to talk about that and more with us coming up on tomorrow's show. And less than 10 minutes away, somebody's going to go see some Hammer Time. Hammer Kid and Play, Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, In Vogue, Hammer's House Party tickets in less than 10 minutes. Back with you next.
Vote on your favorite memory of the greatest moments in IHSAA basketball tournament history, and it could get you free stuff as well. Log on and vote now, 1070thefan.com.
Okay, listen up. What's the one thing Hoosiers like more than race cars? More than tenderloin sandwiches? I'll tell you, basketball. But not just any brand of basketball. I'm talking about the IHSAA. I'm talking about Indiana high school basketball. This right here is pure basketball. No theatrics, no gimmicks, no hot shots. This is a fundamentals first, team-based, hustle and get after it brand of hoops. This is real deal basketball for real deal basketball fans like you. This is your chance to see the greatest game ever played in its purest form. The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament continues this Saturday with a regional round and gyms across the state. Tickets are only $7. The chance to experience Hoosier hysteria live and in person only comes once a year. Don't miss it. The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament is proudly presented by the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever.
Hey, there's something for everyone at Diamonds Direct. Hey, it's JMV here. First things first, there's a guy named Brad that works at Diamonds Direct. Go in there and say, hey, Brad, hey, you know what? I don't want to mess up like JMV did back in 1999. Can you help me? So 2019 is my year of engagement, Brad, and I did a little helper here. Let Brad go to work. Or somebody on the staff there go to work for you. She is going to love what you do for her. I mean, the selection is absolutely incredible. And Diamonds Direct carries all the top bridal designers for you, so feel secure there too. And ring shopping is easy. Back in the day, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I messed up as bad as I did, right? Well, first of all, I didn't have the assurances and the advice of me helping you right now. I didn't have that at all. Maybe that's why I messed up, is because I didn't see the selection as you are lucky enough to have at Diamonds Direct here in Central Indiana. A selection is unmatched. The best jewelry store ever, unbeatable products, people who know their stuff, jaw-dropping prices, and unlimited selection with zero pressure. It's awesome. Really is. It would have saved me in 99. It will save you in 2019. That's Diamonds Direct. Keystone at the Crossing, the official jeweler of the Colts.
Speed and power. Incredible accuracy. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. March 13th through 16th at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. Visit ncaa.com/tickets and secure your seats today.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey.
New phone?
Yeah, brand new.
You happy with your wireless company?
Very happy. I mean, with my plan, this phone was included.
When I switched to my wireless company, I got $650 to pay off my old contract.
Well, I get unlimited talk, text, and data in Mexico and Canada.
Well, I get discounts and gifts every Tuesday. And did I mention my phones were included?
Wait, your phones were included too? Who do you have?
T-Mobile.
Oh, me too.
The happiest customers in wireless are with T-Mobile. Join T-Mobile today and get 2 new lines of unlimited with 2 phones included for just $100 a month. That's right, 2 new lines with 2 phones included for just $100 a month.
$90 for essentials plus $10 for select phones via 24 monthly bill credits with autopay for well-qualified buyers. During congestion, customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs per month. International data at 2G plus taxes and fees. Qualifying credit, finance agreement, and service required. Revel 2, 0 down plus $7 for 24 months, $168 before credit, 0% APR. Contact T-Mobile before canceling service or credit stopped. Remaining balance is due. See T-Mobile.com for offer details.
Hey, let Trevor and Kevin help you save. JMV here for Forum Credit Union, all the ways that you can save. And, you know, what's one of the things you do more often than not right now? I'm guessing you probably don't carry a great deal of cash. Why? Because you constantly use your card. Well, here's what Forum Credit Union has done to help you save. They've created something called the Common Sense account. The account lets you determine how much change to save with every debit card transaction. Very easy, too. So what you do is set your savings amount and watch your money grow in this high-rate savings account. It's a beautiful thing, and that's what Farm Credit Union, that's what Trevor and Kevin are always trying to do, trying to help you find different ways to save. It really is. It's an endless search to help better your savings plan with you, your home, your kids, your entire family. That's why I trust Forum Credit Union, and you should too. Stop by any branch location. Tell Trevor and Kevin I said hello, or online for all the information you need right now. forumcu.com.
Hey, business owners. It's Switch and Save Days at Comcast Business. Right now, when you switch to the nation's largest gig speed network, you save on fast, reliable internet. Get started with 25 megabit internet and voice for $59.90 per month for a 2-year agreement when you sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. That's $650 off our regular yearly price. Just one more way we take your business beyond. There's never been a better time to switch to Comcast Business. But hurry, Switch and Save Days ends April 5th. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 4/5/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Hey, Dan Dockett here for my friends at Just Add Water Boats, the only place I know of where you can ride before you buy on Indy's only test lake. Just Add Water Boats is the oldest boat dealer in Indy and the largest Yamaha boat dealer in the Midwest. Head south 465 on the east side. Take a look at over 400 new and used boats. Make sure you check out their #1 selling boat from Yamaha. Buy now. Take advantage of manufacturer incentives that are going on at this moment online at justaddwaterboats.com. Just Add Water Boats will add just a little more fun to your life.
If you're VA eligible, our 5-minute loan approval only available at Hero.loan. We close VA loans in 14 days with lower rates, and you will never pay for an appraisal.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, brother. What's happening, my main man? Right on. Scotch.
Straight up?
Yeah, give me the whole bottle.
Tell you what, you bend over. Now shove it straight up your ass.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, we got here. There he is. 3, 4, get your woman on the floor. Hammer's house party includes Coolio. Is this your favorite Coolio song?
I mean, I think you always got to go with Gangsta Paradise.
Hold on a second. Let me see. I don't know what's cut and what's uncut here. So
Tony, does this cost?
That's kind of. Oh, let's see. Oh, here we go. What do you think? This is your favorite Coolio song?
I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, this is.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting.
Hammer's house party
Even my mama thinks that.
is coming to the Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. That's July the 27th, right? You can keep it up here if you want to. That's okay. How about number 7?
Almost might be lined in chalk. What does that mean? Just kidding.
Let's see.
You like this better or Amish Paradise?
Amish Paradise is pretty good. You gotta admit,
yeah.
It is pretty good.
I ain't mad about it.
What is this? Here's somebody else who's gonna be there too.
And once again, I'd like to tell you all, thanks a lot, because all proceeds of this here.
Uh-oh. Is that Dougie Fresh? Have you ever seen Dougie Fresh before?
No.
Never? In your life? Not once?
Nope.
Yeah, Dougie Fresh. Oh, let's see. Let's show. There we go. Well, Hammer's house party is going to be July 27th at the Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. And you got Hammer, as you mentioned, you got Coolio, you got Dougie Fresh, you've got Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, In Vogue, Two Live Crew, Kid and Play, Cisco, Biz Markie. It is going to be outstanding. And number 7 is going to go right now at 239-1070. Should be good. JMV, these are great as always. John Gruden and Indy sightings. Randy Moss sighted his Olive Garden. Mike Ditka back in the day bought a house from Biff Ward, if you remember, in Carmel. Absolutely. It's from Andrew Barnett, JMV. I eat at Dagwoods on IUPUI's campus, 10th in Indiana, every week. It is awesome. I love Dagwoods. I've not been to that location. Is the one in Bloomington still down in the basement area there off of Indiana? I love it. JMV lived on South Washington with Taco John's basically in the backyard. This house we rented cost $157 total for me and 2 roommates. That is over there by Goldcasters. That's 2nd and Washington. Goldcasters and Sahara Mart was right there. Great call. Back in the day, before TTS, WTTS, and the 1370 AM, that's where their original building was right there, too. True. All right, Tony, quickly, tonight, Pacers, Milwaukee, the first of 12 remaining in the month of March that are going to be very difficult. What happens?
They lose 104-96. They come back from being down early, but they phase out in the fourth. That's just what they do on the road against good teams.
Over this 12-game span that I've talked about, how many do they win?
I'll say right at 4. I think they're
at 4.
They're going to get one of those games like the at Portland or the
Will we feel good if they win
Sunday.
5? You feel good if they win 5?
Yes.
Is it a success?
If they go 6-6, I'm happy.
If they win, it's a success for them if they win 5, don't you think?
Yes. I'm ecstatic if they go 6-6.
IU, Illinois tonight. What happens?
IU by 5. They keep their tournament hopes alive. So I'll take the Hoosiers. So if you're a betting guy, which I know you're not, John, I'm definitely taking that IU +2.
Indiana State, Valpo, 7 o'clock tonight. Arch Madness at the crappy Scott Trade Center in St. Louis.
Well, it's like Greg and I talked about yesterday. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and it is my Valparaiso Crusaders. But I'm going to take Indiana State because Greg told me if they win, they'll bring out the Powder Blues tomorrow. Anything can happen.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Powder Blues.
Those throwback to the 1979. Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, podcast for everybody today, including Jeff Rob Johns of Peaks.com and Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 up 1070thefan.com. Jay Farrow tomorrow. And again, you've got the Helium Comedy Club opening its doors this weekend. It's downtown here inside the Circle Center Mall, right next to Burger Study. You are going to love it. If you love comedy, you're going to love this. And they're going to have not only top-name comedians, but they're also going to give the opportunity for local comedians to have a forum as well. It's going to be a great place, too. And Jay Farrow is going to open things up this weekend. He's going to join me on tomorrow's show. John O'Hurley, also known as Jay Peterman, is on tomorrow's show. He's this weekend with the Indy Fuel. Mark Adams, ESPN.com, talks college hoop. Bob Lovell, Don Fisher, and Charles Arbuckle all on tomorrow's show. Tony, great job. And thanks again to Tony and Kevin Bowen and Kurt Geralds for being here yesterday. You guys are awesome. Listeners, emailers, Twitter followers, love you as well. We'll get back to you tomorrow with 3 right here on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Have a great night.
Big names.
Andrew Luck.
So, AJ. Pacers president Kevin Pritchard.
Talking to Chris Ballard.
Big interviews.
How's the shoulder feeling?
It feels awesome. Robert Wall. I don't think there's a bad contract in baseball.
What are your issues? What are the problems? What are some of the solutions you have?
Big news.
Oladipo out indefinitely.
It sucks. If they're talking about it.
The focus has been not on what we don't have, what we do have.
We're talking about it. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Your home for Indy sports.
Sports Center updates on The Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, get up to $120 on select Ford tire purchase and installation. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hello, John, for Andy Moore, Toyota in Avon. 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Ben Mendoza running the Shoza. Making sure you guys are satisfied with whatever you get to. And always a great time, especially this time of year. taking a swing in a new car, truck, or van. If you're looking for a minivan, have you guys seen the Sienna? State of the art. I'm telling you, fitting the entire family and friends of the family in there, getting you to and from in style. Awesome, available. Just drive them off the lot right now. You're going to get a great deal with so much from Andy Moore, Toyota, and Avon. Talk to Ben Mendoza. Talk to Robert about it. And then tell him that I sent you. AndyMooreToyota.com or 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
Hey, Dan Dockich here from Matt Nettleton and Sandler Training. Selling is like sports. It's highly competitive. To get the best out of your sales team, a coach must help you master the fundamentals. Prospecting for new business is an absolute must. Matt Nettleton will be conducting a prospecting clinic to help you. It's Thursday. It's March 14th at his office right here on the Circle. We've put together a great offer. If you're in sales or you run a business, text SALES, S-A-L-E-S, to 317-678-8800 to register. Use the code DAKICH, D-A-K-I-C-H, to save $200. This clinic will help you identify, help you engage, and close the right prospects. Work on the fundamentals. Text Matt Nettleton and Sandler Training. It's 317-678-8800. Don't forget, when you call, use the promo code DAKICH. This is a deal of a lifetime for you salesmen.
Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. It's always our goal to make lives better for the good people of Indianapolis. That includes helping children in need. That's why we'll donate $100 to the Riley Hospital for Children for every new HVAC system we install. Call today and bring comfort to your home and to our kids.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. Offer valid February 1st through March 31st. License H0010668.
AAA in Indianapolis had over 43,000 pothole rescues last year alone. Jeff, are you prepared for the pothole season this year?
I wasn't until about 2 weeks ago. Then my wife hit a huge one on I-65, and all of a sudden we got prepared.
Well, I was going to say, were you covered? Do you have AAA?
Yes, we have AAA, so I felt better about it.
Oh, there's that peace of mind. Absolutely, when you have AAA. If you're a AAA member, you're covered if you get a flat tire, if you run out of gas, if you lock your keys out of your car, or even if you hit one of those pesky potholes.
Fair to say, Joe, that AAA is actually my survival kit when it comes to potholes.
Absolutely.
No question about that. And, it's not that expensive either, Joe. You've got $6, right?
Oh, yeah.
$6 a month. You're covered anytime, anywhere, any car. If you're going on spring break, you'll have peace of mind with AAA.
Spring break, that's a great point. That's coming up, too. Yeah, if you don't have AAA, get it now. Learn more by stopping by an office. Visit AAA.com or call them at 844-GO-AAA-GO.
That's right. 844-GO-AAA-GO.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. When it comes to your financial freedom, the best thing that you can be is an informed consumer. Maybe you've been thinking about a cash-out refinance or purchasing a new home, but you're not sure if it's the right time. You need to at least hear your options. Custom loan advice from the Home Loan Expert team only takes 5 minutes, and the best part, it's free. Call us today or visit us at thehomeloanexpert.com for our 5-minute loan approval. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Country music superstar Thomas Rhett is turning up the heat. Very Hot Summer Tour 2019. Friday, June 21st, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Thomas Rhett with special guests Dustin Lynch, Russell Dickerson, and Rhett Akins. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. Go trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. Wednesday night at 7 on The Fan. We know you're busy. Bills to pay, mouths to feed, and the man needs another favor. So just in case you missed what happened on The Fan today, we've got your back. And even if you did hear it live, you probably need to hear it again. Here you go. All in one place and in just 1 hour. The best of the best from today on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. This is Instant Replay.
Hey, it's unbelievable. First time in